Hello, hello everyone. As you can see, yes, there will be more ACC. Now, Hiten is someone I already talked about, and now we finally get to look at her. Hello, Chris. Hello, Bubonic Tonic. Yes, yes, yes. So, I started looking at Hiten, and the first thing I noticed, listen to the voice, please. I will play a video of them. And please tell me that this doesn't sound like Peaches without the British accent. I beg of you. Why are you so quiet? If you lovers let go from the ACC, I will not. Hi, Ash. Why is she so quiet? Oops, oh my god. Do you hear that? Tell me that doesn't sound like Peaches. Bruh, this is so Peaches. You hear nothing? Oh, fuck me. This doesn't work. Why doesn't this work? Fine, fine. You know what? I can fix it. I can fix it. Audio output. Bam. Let's do it like this. Like this. I will fix. Fine, fine, fine. Fine, I fix. German fix problem. You hear now? You hear no cringe. You hear now? I fix problem. I fixed. No? I fixed. I fixed now. I fixed now, right? Does it now work? Do you hear it now? Still no video sound? What the fuck? No? What the fuck?
Who you are, I ask that you don't, and we let things sit.
I will fix, don't worry. I will fix.
I can talk about my own issues with it, though.
I'm
been
German, I fix.
Repeatedly for many years now, where I will give my opinion, occasionally even at the request of the person, and then I will have nonsense hurled at me because the person I was speaking to willfully misunderstood literally everything that came out of my mouth. And
now, tell me this isn't fucking Peaches.
I proceeded to clarify I was somehow still in the wrong because I didn't add 1,000 asterisks to cushion what I was saying. I've been called overly aggressive.
Do you hear the cringe? Good.
I've been called cruel.
So, now let's start from the beginning. Again, tell me this doesn't sound like Peaches.
A video I hoped I'd never make. However, I think I've hit a wall.
Hey, Quantum! Quantum. Quantum. Quantum, quantum, quantum. Quantum. Fuck. Wrong folder. And quantum. 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 What you doing up there? Beam. Pumpkin gets that teddy.
Quite frankly done trying to climb over. I've been in this community.
So this is, first of all, now that we have sound. This is Hiten Mitsuru's Goodbye SCC. So we start at the end. We will just listen to their heartfelt goodbye. And then we see what they did. You know? I just want you all to really take in the voice.
A while now, and I've seen trends up and down. However, I'm watching people make the same mistakes and do the same things that cracked the foundation of the community in half. There's a few things to blame for this. The first is the bullheaded unwillingness the community has to stand up for one another. We are supposed to support and take care of one another, but in recent months and in multiple situations, y'all will claim support behind the scenes, but say nothing and do nothing when it counts.
Isn't that terrible? Quite terrible, isn't it? She sounds like an angry streamline to me, with a slightly higher register than stream though. Oh no. You have which... Oh no. I keep seeing people do bad things. Back the cycle then. No. We just look at them doing bad things.
I've had to sit with friends who are heartbroken and devastated and afraid that not a single person in this community will stand up for them against monsters saying the worst possible shit. Things we as a community know and recognize are lies and misinformation, but is allowed to propagate because not one person wants to draw fire.
Peaches reignited the old revolutionary hatred I had for the British. Yes, and this isn't Peaches. I still can't believe this isn't fucking Peaches.
And you may be asking, why haven't I done that, if this is something that I'm so passionate about?
Why is Peaches 2 speaking? Because they leave the SCC.
Because I was asked not to, considering it was far too little and far too late. And I didn't want to do something that would make my friends uncomfortable. However...
No one does anything, but also I don't do anything. They cloned her, oh god, Peaches light.
The whole time.
They un-British Peaches. The ACC always had this problem. I remember vividly in like middle school, age 10 maybe, where it was still adults bullying children over nothing. They were built upon hurting kids over nothing. Crazy. This is Peaches unless Lio could confirm.
At every turn, at every juncture, I said it was the right thing to do. In fact, so much so, it became a huge sticking point between me and some of my closest friends. I've also noticed that once again the community is lapsing into cliques and backroom dealings. I've seen it happen more than once, occasionally even to me. People who are a part of a community where we understand and discuss keep failing and taking into account the literal worst interpretation of literally anything said, as long as it's a critique of their own actions. There's been more than one incident, but I consulted the people slighted, and they didn't want me to name names. So I won't.
I won't name names. Quantum is indeed British.
And if you know who you are, I ask that you don't, and we let things sit, I guess. I can talk about my own issues with it, though. It's been a problem, repeatedly, for many years now.
I make the lemon face when it speaks.
I will give my opinion, occasionally even at the request of the person, and then I will have nonsense hurled at me because the person I was speaking to willfully misunderstood literally everything that came out of my mouth, and when I proceeded to clarify, I was somehow still in the wrong because I didn't add 1,000 asterisks to cushion what I was saying. I've been called overly aggressive. I've been called cruel. People have said I don't take credit.
Oh, wait. This is okay.
Criticism.
Pumpkin, what you doing?
I've solved innumerable problems behind the scenes, both with friends and with other people, because I don't make my shit public unless it goes public.
If you know who you are. Yeah, you know who you are.
Without my knowledge or consent. I've never shown these tendencies. I've never continued these tendencies. And I'm getting really exhausted of having people who claim that they appreciate me and that they want me in this community.
Oh, people lie to me. Crazy, crazy.
Continuing to perpetuate these things.
No spoilers, Mazomas. We're getting to that.
About me, behind my back. Listen, maybe it's my autism, but when
no, it's autism! Of course she has autism. Oh no!
I say a thing, that's usually the only thing I mean by it. If I make a comment that I thought the sky was blue, I don't secretly mean that it's only blue on Tuesdays at 4:20 p.m. when the sun's out. And I'm exhausted of people asking me why I hate pancakes when I tell them I like waffles.
What? Brother. People will go on the internet and lie? I know, crazy concept, crazy concept.
Finally, I want to get into the...
Okay, now that we have the voice here, I need to find a clip of Peaches. I want to make a point. Hopeless Peaches. I just want to hear Peaches speak. God damn it. I just need a clip of Peaches speaking. How hopeless Peaches intro. Fuck. What's that called? Where is she? Victim, don't care. Hopeless. It's close, but no cigar. No one ever said the sentence. I just want to hear Peaches speak. Hopeless Peaches, leave me alone. Who is it? Hopeless Peaches archive. There we go.
Oh boy, that was a nice break. At the time of writing, he's accumulated a channel size of 937,000 subscribers, and I would honestly say this is pretty inoffensive from what I've seen. Other people have touched on the tracing, so I won't go into it here. I've already spoken on the topic of tracing in another video anyway. Haha, shameless plug.
The straw that broke the camel's back. So Dalsmick was in contact
Peaches after
with
a cigarette
from as far back as 2022.
Fine.
I don't blame you if that's the first time you're hearing about it. Because I only heard about it third-hand.
I can't want to start a channel, insert myself into drama repeatedly, and then say put my brain injury as part of my defense justification for my behaviors time and time again.
Through a friend.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Not only that, but V openly admitted to sexually talking with a minor to Doll.
What? American knockoff Peaches. See? I'm not crazy. Please tell me you all hear that too. Less British and less high-pitched, older Peaches. She was beaten down. No. Always pouring was a minor I was sexual with. Honestly, I don't want to get into any of that. Because honestly, I don't have any real defense for my actions. Aside from the fact that I lied about being a pedophile to rationalize things I did as I had an inability to say no. And at that point, I just wanted anyone to like me. That's why I lied about being the pedophile. But what happened between him and I essentially was that originally he ended up not wanting to talk anything not safe for work. So I didn't. Then he kept on doing it, and then said he'd be fine with me doing that. And then things went too far. I should have just blocked him when he said he was fine with it. But pretty much someone who used to be a friend of mine, friend of Vigelchio's. I honestly don't know who else to put it or say it. Really, a lot of things I did do wrong, and I never felt like I deserved anything I had. What?
To Doll, who then told...
Alright, I'm home, and honestly, it's really difficult to find the words to describe this. Obviously, this is the kind of thing that I don't really feel comfortable with, and obviously I'm not even going to attempt to defend or justify any of that. I am at a loss for words, to be honest, but in this scenario with Vigel, I can't say for certain that the solution really would be. Vigel is very, very loyal to you, which makes for a good friend, but from the outside looking in, I'm a little worried about their mindset, because they really seem to be put off by the idea of criticizing your past actions and what you've done. I can get that, given how often I've been in a scenario where one of my friends is being ganged up on behind their back and not really knowing what to do. But I think Vigel is just very anxious in general around anyone who mentions your name. Okay. Wait, lying, alls, fake, cancel attempts, dumped if Boblex wasn't good at art, he thought to win the ACC.
Told nobody. The whole situation was fumbled by the wider community. Namely, Ephraim hadn't been handling things.
Yeah, so those were not by Hiten, those were not by Hiten, this is just a scenario they were describing.
So for those of you who don't know, Ephraim has been
Bitch, why are you so quiet?
self-elected the leader of the SEC Courthouse, the server made so that conflict can be resolved. I spoke to Fractured Light, one of the members of the Courthouse's archive chat. I learned 3 very important things from Light about that chat that absolutely tipped me over the fucking edge.
Put me some gain on that.
1. Pepper was being coaxed by Vigelsio to make contact with V. And after this situation with Dalsmic, having this call in the archive room to confirm the things that had been said, Pepper was not told about...
God, the name is Pepper. They said Pepper is a victim of Dahl. In what way? Mostly in the Vigil had been directly trying to soften Pepper up to V, and was all like, V's fine, everyone's just mean about my bestie shit. This was happening while Dahl was staying silent. We found out Dahl knew for 3 years, at least from June 2020. And Ephraim did not let you talk about this call with Pepper? Yeah, when he found out, they said, next time you're gonna check with me if that's okay. Something along these lines. Do you have proof of that? No, that happened in Archiver call. I do have me talking to Pepper about it, but none of the aftermath.
Dahl's contact with V. In fact, Light was scolded for telling Pepper in the first place.
Yeah, how dare.
2. PokeSonic's groomer, Sigma Scott, has a new Snapchat account.
It's always groomers.
PokeSonic was informed, not by Ephraim, but once again by Light, who had to break the rules of the chat. So she was not told that her groomer was active again.
Oop.
3rd, and finally, this room, where all of these backroom dealing with predators and abusive people in the community,
it's the backroom. The backroom pedophiles are real?
Nobody knew that it existed. It was not public knowledge until after I left Courthouse. This information was so closely guarded that the people in the server that the chat was housed in did not know it existed. Namely, the server built to discuss dangers and conflict within the community.
There's a server around the dangers in a community? You know what? Just have an only 18+ server, you know? Saves you a lot of trouble.
This is absolutely ridiculous, wildly inept behavior, and I cannot fucking believe the audacity to keep...
See, it's a cadence. It's a cadence that reminds me of Peaches.
Important information from victims, and to keep
victims
in the dark about people that are active threats to its members. One more time.
Also, why is Iron Bull having to sit through this?
Clarity. in the conflict resolution server. The person running it was hiding important information on groomers and dangers to the community from the community. You cannot write irony like that. Ephraim also said
many such cases
that he would make a video to inform people about Scott, much like the video he just made to inform people about Dollsmick. It's been 3 weeks. Ephraim has put out 5 other videos.
The Ephraim-mater.
Since then, one of them a 50-minute long video on Razor Fist. Good to see where your priorities lie.
She's skinwalking old Lio. Oh no. Not the Lio gender bent.
What this whole thing boils down to is that I'm too fucking exhausted and irate with
this community. Why are you suddenly loud now?
To play babysitter anymore. I'm done losing hair. I'm done losing sleep.
You're losing
I'm done
hair?
Losing joy for a community that has done nothing but show me time and time again that I'm just going to be a punching bag for trying to help. Nobody's listened to me. Nobody's treated me with dignity. Nobody's treated me with respect.
Do you have the dignity, though?
For a very long time. And I don't feel like much has changed since 2018 for me, if I'm honest. I'm still constantly painted as a wild, rabid dog by anyone and everyone the moment—
Might be your cadence.
I have a dissenting opinion, despite helping resolve innumerable conflicts behind the scenes. I'm done. I'm not playing mediator for you. I'm gonna let you all make the same mistakes, and
I hate her drawing my husband. Same. Iron Bull, best husband.
I'll continue to be Cassandra, sitting here and waiting for you to cut my head off. So to answer your question, Meta, that you've been so diligently asking for months, no. I am not making commentaries ever again. Goodbye.
Never ever.
Bye.
So this is our dear Hiten. So let's hear about what we have, and we will watch the video from Julie. If you know, we had Julie on the channel before. Based girl. This is also has to do with the Fagos situation. It's like the aftermath of the Fagos situation, you could say.
It was supposed to come out.
Oh Jesus! Now it's loud. Someone did the audio right. God damn it! I was not prepared. Let's get this back to this. Okay.
In like May, and it's almost September, but who really cares? Life has not waited for me
It's almost October, no lol.
This year, so unfortunately it's taken this long. To anyone who's mad at me still making this video, and in particular everyone who took every chance to write fan fiction about my life and abuse every time I spoke the truth, in the words of a great stallion, fuck y'all, I ain't gotta clear my name on a motherfucking thing.
Hell
but
yeah!
I'm gonna get this shit off my chest and lay it to rest. Let's go.
I love that. How Hiten and the SCC ruined YouTube for me. Why doesn't it pause when I click on it?
The following includes an AI replica of Heaton's voice used to read text that she has written.
But why doesn't it pause when I click on it? 1 second, please. I think my internet is doing an oopsie. Oh, there we go.
Hello everyone. It's been a long time since I've uploaded. This video is late. It was supposed to come out
audio
in like
is up.
May, and
the audio is up. What do you want from me? Why? My mouse is playing crazy right now. God damn it.
it's almost September, but who really cares? Life has not waited for me at all this year, so unfortunately it's taken this long. To anyone who's mad at me still making this video, and in particular everyone who took every chance to write fan fiction about my life and abuse every time I spoke the truth, in the words of a great—
Kimbali here? What? Okay, wait. Something going on here.
Stallion,
like
fuck
this?
y'all. I ain't gotta clear my name on a motherfucking thing, but I'm finna get this shit off my chest and lay
Is this better, Chris?
it to rest. Let's go.
Okay, now there's no sound for this part. There's no sound.
The following includes an AI replica of Heaton's voice used to read text.
Oh, this is evil. Yeah, I replica of Heaton's voice. I love this.
That she has written. I condemn all usage of an AI replicated voice to frame anyone for words they did not speak or type.
As a brief trigger warning, this video is going to discuss topics of sexual assault, suicide, abuse, victim shaming, abuse apology, and
streamer, shut up.
many instances of sexual victimization of a minor. So if any of that is triggering to you, please don't feel pressured to stay. Another disclaimer, the main subject discussed in this video has already stated that she will not be watching this video, as she thinks it would just harm her health and she wants to respect that she was asked to leave me alone. I'm actually totally fine with that decision.
Chris is trying to make us deaf, so should I make it quieter again? Guys, you need to decide. I make it a bit quieter.
Because as you'll see, I don't want her talking about things anymore since she can't be truthful. And as far as I can tell, she's actually been doing a good job in keeping her notes.
Pumpkin fell asleep on my table, and now I moved a bit and he got a jump scare. So that's great. And threw everything down. Great day, everything is going great.
Knows in her business where it belongs. I did write a lot of this script to address her in second person because that's just how I wrote it, but just know that she will not be watching this video according to herself. Do not prod and poke at her anywhere to watch this video. I'm not saying you can't talk about the situation.
No, Pumpkin just got a scare, Saint.
At all, but do not provoke her. I'm making this video because I want my story to be known comprehensively and for that information to be immortalized. Otherwise, if you have not kept up with this situation from past old videos or need a refresher, let me just give you a brief summary. Starting in 2019, when I was 16 years old, and for 2 years after, I was emotionally abused, gaslit, threatened, and emotionally blackmailed.
So this is a bit of a recap of the Fagos situation. Don't be surprised.
Through suicide by a former YouTuber and my friend at the time, Fagos, also known by their real name Liam or by their current aliases Billy and Jelly.
Come pick me up, I'm scared. Come over here, it's fine, everything is going fine.
Fagos made me and 2 others by the names of Clownteeth and Pondersprocket believe that we helped get a mentally ill sexual assault victim arrested who would later kill herself in police custody. We did not know that she was a victim of sexual assault at the time we were trying to get her arrested, nor the extent of her apparent mental health issues. During that time, we antagonized—
God damn it, only problems today. Should be better now, everything is fine now.
Her for the hurt she was causing and lies she was spreading about our friend. Of course, only for us to be told by Fagos themselves that one of those lies, that being that she and another girl who also committed suicide were sexually assaulted by Fagos at a house party, was true. After this period, Fagos regularly displayed suicidal ideation.
Yeah, like holy shit, before Fagos told us SA accusations was true.
And would even threaten to kill themselves.
I don't know, I feel like jumping out of a fucking window. But they didn't.
As shown in my original video. They also decided to check in with me
Hey, have you told anyone else about the thing that I told you guys a while ago? Question mark. You know, the thing involving a drunk me in a bedroom? You know, when I accused myself of SAing 2 train scots? No? Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Regularly in private to make sure I wasn't telling anyone about the story. Being made to believe I had a hand in one person's suicide, I did not want to do anything that would upset them until over a year later in 2021 when I was freshly 18, when the memories of the story I was told made me so uneasy that I confided in Clownteeth about my feelings and how uncomfortable I was knowing what I knew about Fagos and how they continued to act. When they found out about—
Hey, Nintendo Mail, hello!
This and confronting me did not go well. They relentlessly hounded Kylie for a month about my suspicions, made me out to be the villain, said that I was talking shit about her, and even tried to pit Ponder.
Hey B, I don't know what's been going on, but on Friday I made a dumbass tweet that really worried some people. Big mistake, really dumb. I'm alright now, but I took a bunch of painkillers at work, and like an idiot, I tweeted it out, like right after I realized I took too much. I tried to explain it to Icy, and I didn't mean to worry anyone. Hey, Quantum! Anna from the trendy, thank you too. You're still best streamer. Take my money and get you tweets. Thank you, Quantum. I will. And of course, you get your head pets. Very proud of you. You all are doing great, just as great as I do. Where was I? Didn't mean to worry anyone and told her that I wasn't suicidal at all, just frustrated at work, and took it out on myself. I don't know what I thought, what my thought process was, but that seemed like it might have been it. Then, next day, she started asking me about Rayleigh, and like, if I had nudes from when she was a minor? I had no fucking clue what spurred this on, and turns out, because she was mad at me at the time, understandably, she went into Dulu about it, and Dulu brought up how I supposedly had CP or something. I don't fucking know why they went to that conversation about me, but I'm scared that Dulu might be planning something behind the scenes and out of my purview. You're like the only one I can trust with this. But I'm just so fucking confused as to why this suddenly a problem when they knew about this for a long time.
Against me, saying that
you tweets other cider and cigarettes. Exactly.
I might be plotting something. Wait for it. After finally leaving me and Clown alone after she essentially...
Yes, I know. I know, at least said freshly 18. Listen. One time we will... One time. She gets a pass.
Begged for them to calm down about me.
Yeah, Dulu is Julie's old name. Don't forget that.
Once again kept quiet until November, when I told another YouTuber that I was close friends with at the time what was happening. Everyone cut Fagos off, and on December 5th, 2021, I posted my video, Fagos Needs to Leave. 2 days after the upload of my video, Fagos uploaded their own video, proving that the story they told us about the assault, the one that they harassed me and my friend over and tried to pit my friends against me for believing...
Exactly, Julie is very based, so she can be soy sometimes, as a tweet.
was a lie. The girl that we had antagonized and helped get arrested was a Fagos sock puppet account, as was the
Fagos OC
account that tried exposing them. When I found this out, I was possibly more angry in my life than I ever had been. I had posted a comment on Fagos.
I still love this one. Dear Evan Hansen looking ass. So are you going to actually address any of the ways you guilt-tripped Kylie and I and try to make us feel like we're responsible for you? Are you going to address all the stuff you did to us that I showed and talked about, or are you just going to talk about all the shit you made up so that... Excuse me. A sneeze. Don't have to deal with the actual thing you did. Like, imagine stalking me and my friend. You know who you told about bullying that person who offed themselves on Discord while we were minors? But thinking that stalking me out of fear is better than stalking me out of malice, Lamau. So even though you claim to have hushed me for this fake situation, you still did it to her too, with something you admit in the beginning. Amazing! I don't believe for a second that all of this was entirely made up, especially when you evoked Jay's name to Kylie, to tell her that I remind you of her when you were shitting your ass off about me being wary of your past relationship. Unless, of course, you were just faking that entire thing because you decided to say something that you could use to end the situation while you were screaming at Kylie. In which case, you're just an emotional abuser. You still are either way, it's just a game of seeing how bad it goes. Thanks, you're a horrible person. I want this channel and the rest of your socials gone ASAP. Because, honestly, it wouldn't even surprise me if you're dumb enough to think you have any right to have any form of a platform after what you've done with it. Please fuck off the internet entirely. I hate you with all my heart. Hey Jacob, welcome.
This video telling them that I wanted their social media presence entirely removed, which included deleting their Twitter and YouTube. Fagos started leaving old DM groups that we shared, which I continued to kick them out.
I love this one. I love this one to everyone. I mean this one too.
Out of and posted about.
Host GIF Fagos was leaving DM groups. They were still in with me, so I decided to make sure they got everyone.
And I celebrated when
thanks, Bozo!
they deleted their socials. This is where things take a shift, as at that point, another commentator by the name of Hiten Mitsuru made a thread about me and how much of a terrible person I was. I'm just gonna let the thread play out right.
Imagine someone pulled all this bullshit with you, and then, yeah, you're kinda being mean, you know? That's terrible what you're doing, actually.
Now, so we can all hear exactly what was said.
I want to talk about this Fagos thing real quick.
The AI sounds even more like Peaches.
Because this has escalated to a point I'm not comfortable saying nothing. Dulu's video is bad.
I watched it, I didn't think it was bad.
The constant claims of manipulation, while actively showing them gaslighting him into believing he was a worse person than he was, is vile and disgusting.
A worse person than he was. You know, after he claimed that he SA'd 2 trans girls for like 2 years, and then later it turns out, oh, it was all a lie. Yeah, that's not vile enough.
Sting. Watching them active.
Why be a mean girl when you can be a small bean girl? No.
Cheer on the downfall of someone they admitted to knowing was emotionally fragile, and going into the comments of him telling his side of the story of what is admittedly interpersonal drama that they instigated, and telling him
how
to
did they instigate that?
Disappear is reckless at best. You going into private chats and bullying him, then going into the place where he is trying to clear up his side of the drama is no better than him shadowing you in calls.
What? Excuse me?
It's bullying.
You're going into private chats and telling him to fuck off is just as bad as him pretty much stalking you around chats. Yes, of course.
Someone you know is mentally ill into isolation, and that's dangerous.
Bitch, who isn't mentally ill on the internet nowadays?
It makes sense that you were recording Spoctor's sub count dropping for Penta if this is how you act. You didn't do this because you cared about victims. If he hadn't personally slighted you, we wouldn't know about any of this.
What?
If anything, this was Clown's story to tell, not yours.
It was both their story.
Don't get to play the weeping, tragic victim for supporting your friend through a hard time, just like I don't get to do so for helping my friends deal with your bullshit when you do this to friends
over a small tiff. Over a small tiff after they got gaslit for like 2 years that someone killed themselves because of them.
For a small tiff. I feel bad for Clown. I feel bad for Fagos. You're a manipulative, spiteful bitch who wants to win a fight, not help a victim. It's real rat bitch behavior, and I'd like to say I'm disappointed. But in order for that to be true, I'd have to be surprised.
What? What even do they have to do with this? Mental instability is part of the archetype.
TLDR, this is going to get messier. And you'd better reel it the fuck in, or there might end up being actual blood on your hands this time.
Whoa! Excuse me? Is that a threat?
Dial it the fuck back! Quick amendment, because I do want this to be clear. If what Fagos is being accused of is true, then 100% this should be known, called out, and atoned for. This just isn't the way to do it.
This just isn't the way to do it. You know, being mean to them isn't the way to do it. Being glad that they fuck off isn't the way to do it. Nah. You need to... Oh, God. And again, don't forget Julie's age at the time. Like, when it all started, they were like 16. Brother. When the Fagos shit started, I think at this point, December 21. Yeah, this isn't even way too much later. Yeah, that was when Julie was 18.
Of someone who everyone admitted to knowing is unstable, isn't it?
This is actually a secret third Fagos stream.
At Junkie for ruining my commentary career, fucking up several relationships, and kickstarting several years of paranoia and fear, for example. I'm not gonna tap dance on Twitter about his numbers going down.
Well, you just don't have the Schadenfreude.
and people breaking friendships with him.
Listen, it's fine to be glad that someone you don't like and who wronged you to enjoy it.
When my original video came out, the extent of which Fagos built their lie and forced it on me while I was a minor wasn't public knowledge, because I didn't realize that would be important at the time, because I thought it was true. But you know what? That doesn't matter, because nothing in the world could have made Heaton's thread and the things she said about me understandable. What level of fucked up do you have to be to hear a story of a grown adult lying to a minor about sexual assault and suicide, and then claim that the person lied to was the gaslighting manipulative bitch? And
yeah, that makes total sense, right? You were mean about it. That's the problem. You didn't choose the right words. You should have said, no, that was not good. That was not good.
Wasn't a victim. And that if they don't stop talking about the person who lied to them, then they're going to be responsible for that liar's suicide or any other bodily harm. Do you understand how fucking sick that is? And to then try—
Listen, if Fagos would have killed themselves after that, it would have been— This is so stupid, I can't even say it without laughing.
Bring up a mistake the victim made when they were 15 years old as a means to try and character assassinate them. That, in particular, by the way, is really funny. And I'm just gonna be a bitch here because this look back has been over 2
Yes, be a bitch. Do it.
2 years in the goddamn making. Coming from a bitch who was participating in the collective bullying of Princess Elizabeth as a 19-year-old.
Who's Princess Elizabeth?
And for those of you wondering, yes, this does mean that at the age where I was coming forward about the abuse I dealt with for 2 years and getting shat on by my old community, Heaton was beefing with an autistic 14-year-old on DeviantArt.
What? Excuse me? They should have been meaner, to be honest. Listen. They learn. With 19 years old, they had an internet fight with a 14-year-old autistic person. Wasn't that the one Char offended too? I think you're right. This is so stupid.
And honestly, good for her. I'd rather her be a dick.
Good for her. Good for her. I'll be honest, I read Fagos as something else, to be honest. Don't worry, I got the pass. That's me every time I say the name.
Online at that age than dealing with whatever the fuck was happening to me. Glass houses, bitch. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, I love glass houses and stones. Always say it. Stones and glass houses. Don't go together.
Yeah. Yes, I recorded Spectre's sub count going down as a 15-year-old when he was falsely accused at the time of being a sexual predator. I also publicly apologized for doing it when I was 16. Here's something weird though, because I don't know what it is with Heaton having such a problem with people doing and saying mean shit to people who are believed to be—
Ruben is a child fighting art. I will never fight a child.
Sex pests. Maybe look into that. Anyways, I immediately
I'm glad you feel okay victim shaming someone who was emotionally abused with my friends for years and lied to about suicide. Heart. Please stay in your lane. Nail emoji. You haven't talked to me in years. You do not know me. I don't wish to know you. Based.
responded to Heaton's thread, pointing out the disgusting—
I also love the "you might have actual blood on your hands" comment, which I hope isn't you insinuating I'd be responsible for Fagos hurting themselves. If it is, I don't fall for that anymore, unfortunately for you. So please, try to guilt me more. Sad emoji.
behavior she displayed and how she had no grounds to make the claim.
When coming out about a guy who's been lashing out at, manipulating and lying to you and your friends for years is that bitch of me. This emoji. I don't know who told you this was a cute look, sis, cause they did you dirty. Skull emoji. Damn, Julie.
Claims about me that she did, which then led to Heaton.
Since you're looking, despite having me blocked, yeah, we don't talk because you tried to push me into divulging someone else's personal mental health info because you wanted to be right in an argument. What?
Deflecting and making even—
Wait, what's the name? Papa proprietor.
More unfounded claims about me, which we'll go into more detail at a later point. After a quick back and forth, Heaton stopped talking about me, but as you'll see, that was far from the end of it.
I was about to say, it would be a very big surprise if they stopped immediately after that.
Because after Heaton's thread, and after I responded, several people started repeating the same talking points that Heaton did, which included random people in the
Thanks, Bozo. Honeydew melon, rest in peace.
Community directly parroting Heaton and putting very
Proprietor. Got it. Explained Seeker. Funny, that's what I want to say to the brainlets pushing the situation to its worst. I don't give two fucks what happened. If Fagos winds up dead, we all know who's to blame for pushing him to it. What? Are these people stupid?
Triggering.
Do they have a brain?
In my mentions.
You don't care about outing a predator. You just don't want your fifis hurt when you're being called out for shit behavior and taking the law into your own ignorant hands. Get fucked and grow up. This shit ain't kosher. Never was, never will be. Bro, take your pills.
Like that I don't actually care about what Fagos did and that
I will never take the autism test on stream, Chris. I would like to note here that Hiten has a glass jar and can take a hit despite liking to dish it out. As per usual, as per usual. You've lost a follower and gained an enemy. If I find out you and your white knights of a fanbase are going to attack for my opinion, my choice, I won't hesitate to report you fucks for harassment. This isn't an empty threat. This is a promise. Ooh. Get your keyblade out.
To blame if they kill themselves, or others telling me
the fact that Dulu is treating a serious drama involving a mentally ill person like a game of concern is concerning and childish. What the fuck? What does their mental illness have to do that they lied for years? My suggestion for Dulu, grow up and start acting like an adult, because I'm pretty damn sure they're at the age where they should be already. Bruh.
Need to grow up and stop treating the situation.
You lost a follower and gain enemy. What kind of Joker shit is this? It really is. It really is.
Like a game, and that I was a
Given the drama right now, I say this regarding my thoughts on Fagos and Dulu. One is a piece of crap and the other one is toxic AF. Both are shit people, but for different reasons, so frankly, fuck them both. This person actually changed their view on things earlier this year, so good on them, I guess. Lol. I love when this happened, and later they're like, yeah, I didn't mean it like that.
Toxic piece of trash, so fuck me. It also included several creators, small and large, like Artemi Musha, and an old commentator, who posted a tweet thread.
It's noble to out someone for reams of dreadful behavior, but to then go and metaphorically kick that someone while they're down and clearly revel in the way the situation is unfolding isn't going to endear me to you, even if that someone did something far worse. Him saying I need to mind my manners with a self-admitted sex offender if I want his sympathy. Bruh. Metaphorically kick someone while they're down, clearly. Bro, I will be I will be gleeful if someone who pulled shit on me like that fucks off. Like, Jolie is already not being nice in this situation, let's be honest here.
About how if I wanted
the SEC is soft law, Julie wasn't mean enough. Exactly.
His sympathy, I was gonna have to mind my manners with Fagos, basically admitting that he...
Especially not when you yourself have already established that the person in question is already mentally in a bad place, or he was in a dark place. He who fights monsters and all that jazz. I don't care about my abuser self. Very good note. It's worse when you're thrown in the whole do not harass the people involved in the situation spiel among your calling out, because when you go and pull that shit, it sounds gallingly insincere. What else is she supposed to do? Tell them, go harass them, go! Fuck yourself. And if pointing all that out is victim blaming, then you're almost entirely beyond top in defending Hitten's threat. If you know what prompted these tweets, you know.
And the others in this community care more about the optics of how
I keep it on the down low in public and just say it makes the beastly Eve situation look positively sedate in comparison.
How a victim deals with their abuse than the abuser in question.
Let's just say it's a situation I'm so utterly disgusted by. I don't even want to allude to it in my parody persona. What? This is so... What? Bruh, those people are so sorry. You were mean to a mentally ill person. I don't care what they did, but you should be nicer about it.
Actions. Musha would even later go on to take time out of his own video detailing abuse he had gone through to posture about how much of a better victim he was going to be than me. And
what? Excuse me. Yeah, you did it actually wrong. You know, I had something happen to me and I was such a much more graceful victim.
Me disgusting.
Rachel may have pages and
I am the super victim.
pages worth of unsettling baggage, but she is still a human being at the end of the day, and nobody, least of all me, should wish or hope for harm to come to her. For this reason, in light of recent events, I am obligated to mention that I firmly and explicitly refuse to take victory laps around the situation.
Bruh, if you wrong me, lose your kneecaps.
Even on the off chance that everything does go the way I hope it will. Especially not if Rachel is drawn into an emotional and mental low point because of this. I've seen the tactless way that Dulu acted after calling out Fagos' manipulative behavior and instability.
Oh no, Dulu. She used the crab emojis, can you believe it?
And having seen the repulsive defenses people have made in their favor after Dulu was called out for this tactlessness, I do not wish to reenact that mistake.
Another person who chimed in at the time was Manga Kamen, a
channel. Oh god, not Manga Kamen, oh no.
With over 100,000 subscribers at the time, who, well, was much...
Alright, I need to talk about a few things about the Fagos situation, since I worked with the guy in the past, and that's it. I didn't really know much about him, we didn't hang out, and frankly I don't approve of his actions. You have to be crazy to do so. As for Dulu, I don't really care to look into the situation, nor can I. Because for some bloody reason, they got me blocked. Which is funny, because the last time I talked to them, I thought we were on good terms. We didn't really converse on Twitter at all.
Was much tamer in the things he said about me. Still used my abuse.
I support the video criticizing mine, Jas, and Fushika's terrible video, but they blocked the guy for no reason, I guess. Why is he... Wait, why is he now molding over a block? That's really the only criticism I can levy at Dulu, as I don't really care to sit down and watch their video on the matter. Presentation is not my cup of tea. He didn't even watch the video! Ah! Can we just give all of them a grippy sock vacation? Yes. No, I don't think that's Fuchsia. I think this is Fushika's. You're finally covering Hiten, Mitsuru. I loathe the horror takes they have. Listen, only the best takes, only the best take. Also, Gray, I need to ask you a question. Do you think that Hitten's voice kinda sounds like Peaches? No, this doesn't look like Fuchsia. This is Fushika. So unfortunately, I don't really want to talk more about this. You can't talk more about this. You haven't even watched the video. I've had Fagos in a video or two a long while ago. If I can't remember which ones, I see about cutting him out, but I had no clue about this behavior. Again, only saying this much because I was an acquaintance.
Abuse situation to complain for half a thread about how I blocked him would...
Also, yes, I could go incognito, but that require me to care more about the situation. And honestly, I don't really care at all. Then why do you chime in? Fucking idiot. Dulu wants to block me? Fine. I'm curious as to why, but really don't care, bro. You care so hard. Yes, Hiten does sound very much like Peaches. It's very American and not British. Thank you! One more thing. I just muted Dulu after learning I was blocked. Who the fuck cares? Why are you molding about a fucking block? I thought this was about hopeless speeches. No, it's about Hiten. Mitsuru. I just sound like American British.
Fucking Christ. Also, after
I supported their video critic. Okay.
Admitting to not having watched my video because he didn't care, still went out.
Also, I didn't like the presentation. Cry harder, yes. Hiten deserves criticism for that, but Dulu also deserves criticism for tweeting Fagos' downfall like he's losing sports team. Regardless of the severity of his crimes, the credibility of the allegations, their attitude might back them in the ass. Bruh, if they have credibility and proof, I don't fucking care about their attitude. They can dance on the grave for all I care.
Still went out of his way.
I'm more referring to how they acted in their tweets after their video was released.
To unsettledly pry people in.
Man, I wish I could read that context, but for some reason Dulu's got me blocked, lol. Bruh, he goes around everywhere, just molding about the blog. Imagine being this pathetic. Why do so many of these people treat Twitter like it's a therapist? Don't ask me.
Into giving him screenshots.
You're welcome. Oh, now they have someone screenshotted for them.
Of my outburst.
Wow. Yeah, to be charitable, this doesn't make Dulu look good on a mere optics level, to be honest. To be a bit hyperbolic, it's like doing a field goal dance on your enemy. Yes! You get to do your war cry and your little war winner dance. Yeah, it may feel good, but showing off and coming off egotistical.
First, so that
this kind of situation requires more delicate ways of handling this, especially if there's legal issues. At worst, they may trying to get Fagos the proper authorities even harder because he deleted his internet presence. Way to show you had no idea what the fuck you were talking about. When did they talk about legal issues? Bruh.
Egotistical I was coming off. I honest to God despise this type of behavior because of how cowardly it is. Like, you want to involve yourself in a situation that has nothing to do with you to throw your 2 cents in, but not do any of the work that should come with doing that and present yourself as someone who doesn't care. If you actually didn't care, you would have shut the fuck.
They're either unaware of topics, of optics, or misusing the words, yeah. Just like, optics is when you say something I don't like. If you use mean word, that's bad optics. Why are these people treating the victim more harshly than the perpetrator? Because the perpetrator has mental issues, Luna. Don't you know?
Up after condemning Fagos instead of using it to bitch about how the victim blocked you before going around to snoop for more things to comment on. You think you're being slick? And you're not. You're just being a nuisance. There was also notable FCK member and groomer enabler Nezzy Monster.
Oh, Nezzy Monster! Old friend. Nezzy! Hey, what you doing here? I swear, these people are everywhere.
Who very, very discreetly, not really, tweeted that day and
when it comes to a lot of stuff online, I question a person's actions, even if they're for good, because it has become clear to me that for too many people, being right is more important than the safety of others. People lie to themselves saying, I am good because I beat the bad guy. But when they act all aggressive and it becomes a question of how long did you wait for the right to treat someone like garbage? Nezzy, shut the fuck up.
Insinuating that I was simply waiting for the opportunity to treat someone like garbage and didn't care about the safety of others like I stated, despite me being arguably the most harmed and vulnerable subject of Liam's abuse. I love having to point that out because you fucks hated me so much.
You just laugh when you have to point out how, hello, this freak fucking stalked me and gaslit me and made me think I killed someone.
Which is also
in a sense
funny because now that Nezzy has been in the hot seat for damn near a year for enabling a groomer and lying about that groomer's actions and their knowledge of them to others in the community, has switched to the defense that they were a stupid 19-year-old and obviously shouldn't be held to the same standard as today. So where was that compassion and understanding for me when I was 19 and had a single outburst on Twitter? Especially
very good question, because Nezzy Monster was like, Yeah, you can't hold me responsible for staying quiet about the FTK. I was 19. I was a stupid teenager. Oh, but not for Julie. No, no, no. Only for me. Hey, I'm back for the DMV. My days. Oh, good old days.
Especially when I didn't even do anything actually wrong. I should note that I called Nezzy out on this.
Nezzy, I was 19. Boo-hoo is wild because I spent the first month of being 19 cutting off Fagos, alerting everyone what she said and she did, and making a whole ass expose video just for Nezzy to subtweet me because I was too mean to Fagos after she admitted she lied. Boy, fuck you. Very based, very based. Also, don't forget, Fagos transitioned and now is she. Yes, I got it.
On Twitter recently.
No dollar for the misgender jar.
And instead of apologizing, they simply had another enabler of
Hey gamers, if you've been blocked by this account in the past few months, just know it was by a Avi, the one typing right now. Nezzy gave me access to this account to manage for mental health purposes, and I've taken the liberty of curating the all TL.
Shit behavior in the community. Avi Haltman, block me. Bitches act like accountability shot their parents in front of them. I swear to God.
Julie!
So as you can guess, that day was awful.
I love it. Akumu, I need your opinion. Akumu, I need your opinion. Do you think that Heaton sounds like an American Peaches? I can't unhear it. It's in my head.
There were a few people, not creators, who stepped in to defend me and try and get these people to empathize with how angry I was. And I really do appreciate those people. I thank you very, very much for trying to help me in that situation. Despite those few, the only public things creators said about me were condemnations of me, while the greater community stayed completely silent on the way I was.
Yes, because how dare you use mean words? Don't you know? Those kill people.
Was being treated, because most of them agreed with it. Just 2 weeks later, Heaton was totally...
And before someone asked me about it, yes, I saw Spoctor's video. He can casually fuck himself. Without the accent and some squawking, yes. Thank you, Aku! I'm getting everyone on this train. We love to see someone being honest that they are defending someone's terrible actions because they're friends and tone policing someone who's speaking out. Yes, my video is angry. I don't care. Did you use mean words, Hiten? I am right to be angry. The friends he lied to are right to be angry. I'm so sorry that I didn't powder his ass before telling people he tanked several friendships and ruined a good chunk of my life. I'll be better. Mousier victim next time. Bite me. Raw XD.
For her junkie video by Spoctor, and every single person who was silent when she did it to me jumped with their pitchforks to defend her, like they all suddenly decided.
Yes, she has a right to be angry, don't you know? She can use mean words. She didn't use the crap emojis, that's the problem.
Tone policing is wrong, actually. Love that. Never mind the fact that Heaton's popularity was bolstered by this, and she became known for being tone policed when she had no problem doing the tone policing early.
Tone policing in this community? Nah, can't be. That can't be.
That same goddamn month. This made me feel absolutely horrible, leaving me to wonder why no one had a problem when it was done to me enough to speak up about it, and wondering who I could even trust at that point. Spoilers, it was practically no one. In early 2022, I found...
Who could have seen that coming?
Found out that Musha made that video where they publicly shamed me to bolster their own image as a victim, and no one had a problem with that either. Many of you know that 2022 was a rough year for me, mostly for reasons outside of the internet, but I just want you to know that all of this nonsense was happening at the same time that every other facet of my life was on fire.
Listen, if it rains it pours, it always be like that.
So, you know, horrible all around. So horrible, in fact, that in September of 2022, I quit YouTube as a hobby, passion, and source of income for me that I made a lot of connections with because I just felt so unwanted and hated by the way people talked about me and the abuse I endured. And a month later, Heaton decided to...
My issue wasn't with her anger. It was with her doing literally the exact same thing she was getting angry at him for. What? What? Did she claim that she raped 2 trans people? And then made him think that made him think that these SA victim OCs killed themselves, and then okay. And then later came out, lol, it was just a joke, bro. She was mad he followed her into private calls to make her feel unsafe, and that he was claiming she was talking about him behind his back, only to then show herself following him into private calls to make him feel unsafe. What? When did that happen? And talking about him behind his back. Oh no. Talking about a crazy person, that's crazy. She and Clown have every right to be angry with what happened.
Respond to comments asking her about why she thought it was okay to talk to me like she did, and not only lied about the thing.
They do not have the right to stoop to his level. It is in fact possible for you to be a victim
I did in my abuse
and an aggressor at the same time. Go fuck yourself.
Situation, but ended off by claiming that I was an aggressor in the shit Fagos put me through. Fast forward to March of this year, and the Rosa call was re-uploaded and
hey, the Rosa call. I just don't know. Oh, Rosa's last stand.
Caught a lot of people's attention. The Rosa call, for those wondering, was a voice call in the now defunct server called The Senate that happened on January 31st, 2023, wherein a disabled woman responded.
It's so wild that it's only been 2 years. Feels longer. Or yesterday.
For not banning a predator in a friend's server was verbally abused, called slurs, misconstrued, and sexually harassed for nearly 4 hours. The owner of the server, who also controlled the call, was YouTuber Lio Convoy, who was an, at the time, self-proclaimed predator hunter. He did apologize for that call, but however people decide to take it moving forward is up to them. As for me, I had known of this call's presence for a while because
it felt like 6 months.
My friend ponders.
Let's talk about like its ancient lore. Yeah, that's crazy. And then you hear 2023. Oh.
Rocket had brought it up and told me how much of the Senate server was shitting on her for speaking up during it, but I didn't actually know any of what was actually said. I did know, however, that Heaton was part of it playing defense for the call's behavior, though again I did.
These people deem anything they don't like happening harassment. Hiten said, I harassed and stalked Nezzy. And that Vin was stalking for looking at public Twitter accounts. Yeah, that's stalking, bro, don't you know? Literally stalking. And then you said a mean word.
I didn't know exactly what she said. Thankfully...
Listen, but they taking screenshots of everything and sharing it around, that's totally normal.
Another YouTuber, Omnia, made a couple of videos going over the call in detail, and the second one included clips of what Heaton said.
I think the insults, like, is where we're drawing the line, the ad hom.
Oh no, not the ad hom, not the ad hom.
I think is ridiculous, because in a normal situation where this is a normal kind of debate, I would agree with you 100%. I'd be like, yeah, that's too far. That's this, that, and the other. This is not that.
I swear, that just sounds like Down syndrome peaches.
Like, very transparently, this is a person who openly faked a panic attack.
How the actual fuck do you plan on proving that?
While being confronted about acting.
Hello, Rosa has brain damage. You can't say, oh, she faked having a panic attack, bruh.
Actively letting pedophiles occupy a space and who pretended to cry on live stream about it.
Yeah, she just pretended to cry, gee.
Like, I don't, this is the thing where I'm gonna have apparently
suddenly the mental illness isn't an excuse. The FCK was watching my Twitter account for weeks and months on end at 3 AM too. This was publicly admitted in several of their videos. Ponder, Nezzy, Fusha, and Mad Lips, but me looking at public stuff? Horrendous! How dare you? How dare you, Akumu? Stalking. Literally stalking.
One of the hot takes of the room and say, listen, there is a point where, yes, a calm conversation can be had. I have no problem with character assassination of someone who actively downplayed the...
Actively downplayed...
of children, and I think the idea...
Why is her pronunciation so weird?
Saying things that are
This sounds worse than the AI.
Mean to them, like calling them a whore and stupid, is... I think the fact that that's where the line's being drawn.
Listen, calling her a whore is fine, but don't you dare use the crap emojis.
Is insane.
When I heard the way this woman was defending the group insulting an ableist, misogynistic harassment of a woman with autism severe enough that she needed a caretaker at the age of 30, during a point in time when she was still completely backing the revolting things she had said about me for celebrating my abuser.
Listen, Fagos was more disabled than Rosa, apparently, okay? I get it.
I was completely... pissed, to say the least. And you know what? I felt the same way about her video on Spoctor, where she complained endlessly about having been tone policed by him and how
ACC hypocrisy is a drug to me. You know what? I start to understand. I don't get why peeps can't just do their shit talk in private like most mean girls. Like, you go on a private call, drop the tea, and that's it. Like, why does everything need to be public? Listen, you can also be a mean girl in public, but at least they're a consistent mean girl.
horrible he was for doing that and not seeing her as a victim. Wow, that's crazy, Heaton. Honestly, that video is one of the
truly crazy bullshit
worst things you can listen to when you're aware of how she completely stood by the way she treated me and would even defend her behavior in the comments when
confronted. I should have called Fagos the whore. That would be fine.
As previously mentioned. It highlights her hypocrisy in a blinding light and shows her absolute refusal to empathize with me as a human being, you know, despite the fact that she was able to sympathize with the grown-ass adult that abused me with ease from the start. Seriously, if you took a shot every time she leaves a criticism against Spoctor in that video, that could come ramming into her headlight-lit fuck-ass deer face.
Wait, I need to see this again. That's why did they like Yagami up their control freaks. You know what? Cringe but based.
A criticism against Spoctor in that video that could come ramming into her headlight-lit fuck-ass deer face with the same force and validity. You'd need to call poison control by the end.
You have a lot.
If anything, this was Clown's story to tell, not yours. You don't get to play the weeping tragic victim for supporting your friends through a hard time, just like I don't get to do so for helping my friends deal with your bullshit when you do this to friends over a small tiff.
A fucking nerve telling.
Yeah, Julie's hilarious. One of the few SEC people I actually swear I'm like, just paste. Alan, welcome.
People how they're allowed to feel and react to something that ruined their life. Or is it just different when you do it? You're saying that a victim has no right to take an aggressive, angry tone with someone who hurt them.
Yeah, remember Julie was 16, yes, when it all started. The youngest that circle of them. God damn it. It's always 16, huh?
Rules for thee and not for me?
Rules for thee and not for me. Gee, Hiten. Where have we seen that before?
Great. You, a fucking outsider who knew jack and shit, does not get to choose the tone I take with people who hurt me, just as I don't get to do that for you.
Well, you did, so...
You are literally telling victims that the people who commentate on their pain are more justified to anger than they are. It seems.
I mean, that's what you. I love the clown music. It's just so fitting.
It's like he always goes in emotion first and brainwaves third, but laying out this in front of me, it seems like nothing but malice. So he lies again about not knowing the context. He doubles down on his statement that I took the wrong tone, and implies he didn't even see me as a victim. Great. Glad to know that Lily's Garden adds an...
Oh gee, it's almost like you didn't see someone else as a victim.
FurCon video were more important than you giving that victim a voice. This is peak victim blaming and tone policing.
Oh, the peak victim blaming, tone policing, give the victims a voice. Oh god.
And I'm tired of you pretending that you're a better person when it's not looking like that's true either. I'm exhausted. I'm tired of having people who hurt me have the last word, though, so here I am.
Imagine being this embarrassing of a person, Lamau. Literally a whole circus.
So yeah, it pissed me off that she took 2 years to even realize that the way she talked about me was wrong in any way and dish out 2 tepid apologies that rival the Notes app apologies of the 2010s in terms of thought and sincerity. More on that later.
Oh, I love some YouTuber apologies.
So what did I do? I put her on blast.
Oh.
In terms of thought and sincerity. More on that later. So what did I do? I put her on...
Never thought I'd say this, but seeing all this crazy drama makes me thankful I was a Tumblr girl. Just look at fan art of Tumblr sexy man and made dumb mistakes that get whatever like. Listen, sometimes it's a blessing. I'm tired of pretending to be a better person. Yeah, you know. The Hiten would never do that, you know, but shame upon the other people. Hey Hiten, wanna explain why you were sitting hands clasped and even defending a group of people, calling this autistic woman a slut, whore, dumb cunt, telling her to commit suicide several times because you thought she did some shit? Yet it took you an entire year after...
Put her on blast.
And several people telling you fucked up for you to stop clutching your pearls over my 2 tweets of this... And maybe realize that telling me, on top of other things, I'd be responsible for my abuser killing herself because I was mean to her on Twitter was a bad fucking idea. I tell you, it was the crap emojis.
Calling out her hypocrisy, I want...
Fuck. Goddamn Zoomers. You're fine keeping quiet in front of a group of people directly telling this woman to off herself, calling her worthless and tons of sexist insults, but really thought me posting crab emojis over Fagos channel deletion on my Twitter was gonna push her over the edge, huh?
I wanted to test...
Let's be perfectly clear on something. Well, certified tone policing victim was getting her degree. She actually was just getting a taste of her own medicine from not even a fucking month prior and was too delusional to know it for the next 2 years. Remember that always.
Something by seeing how he...
Saint, do this again and you get the rope. No, don't crap emoji.
Heaton would react to being hit with the...
I'll be a better, mousier victim next time. That's what you wanted from me 2 weeks prior, right? We all fucking know it would have been crickets had my I'm so glad Fagos is gone tweets had been made with a sad, empathetic tone instead of anger and joy, because I finally exposed her. Hi, X! Hello, hello. Imagine it really pulling the, you're not a good victim card.
Same energy and
To be transparent, Hiten gave me a dog shit apology in November 2023 for literally one aspect of her entire thread that she only typically sent to me through a third party because 2 people confronted her about her actions, but even then still stood by everything else. 2 years for this. Hey, I asked to send you this because I really don't want to get into a call. If I can just sum it up here, neither of us like each other and neither of us needs the stress. Oh god, not the stress. All that aside, I did do wrong by you, and I want to sincerely apologize. In my initial threat, I insinuated you weren't suffering with what Fag did, and that was wrong of me. Regardless of how I felt about your actions otherwise, I should have never downplayed your pain. It was catty and disrespectful, and as someone who had it done to them, I should have known better. I try to hold myself to a better standard now, and I want to continue to do it by taking accountability with the people I've lashed out at. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect a reply. You have every right not to. I just wanted to let you know I'm genuinely apologetic. Wow, a lot of wool. It's going well, but I'm feeling behind because Deus can't police my crap emoji. Hambre! Hambre! No, hambre. 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 You get the rope.
Vitriol that she repeatedly...
She didn't roll everything back until after she got set down by a third person, where she deadass tried to, I was in a dark place. No, not the dark place. Without a flashlight. out of the situation and boil down her threat to just some out-of-pocket behavior, like, girl, go fuck yourself, you suck at this.
Put out at her targets.
The public post in particular was made because she had a total fucking meltdown when Clown Teeth and I requested she not be in the Senate call with Fagos, and had to have it intricately explained to her by that third person why we think she fucking sucks.
I hit hard and I hit a lot.
Then, might I add, after all she did, had the fucking nerve to retweet a video acting supportive of me, clapping back at Fagos after years. What? Bruh, by the second video she was like, yeah, you're the good girl, after all this bullshit. Bruh, how can you be so retarded? Like, no, keep your mouth silent on this situation for the rest of time. I don't want your performative ass support.
And Heaton...
Oh, Fagos is so fake. See, I reposted, I retweeted it, hee.
Immediately fall.
Trotsky, not you two. Trotsky, you get the cage. Gets criticized once, fucking dies. Yes, that fits.
She locked her account.
This is not an April Fool's joke. I'm blocking the account and probably not going to be streaming this week. I've cracked. You came out as trans? Your egg got cracked? I try to be strong enough and I can't fucking take anymore. I'm exhausted. If I'm lucky, I won't end up in the hospital this time. What? What does that mean? Every time you're stressed, you end up in the hospital? Is that what happens? Do you faint? Do you have fainting spells? Take your W, I guess. Be more passive-aggressive.
And posted a passive-aggressive tweet with some questionable content about how she'd be lucky if she didn't end up in the hospital, followed by a passive-aggressive send-off saying, take your...
The chicken came out of the egg.
W, I guess. This was a wild reaction coming from...
Why are all these callouts so soy? Listen, Julie is already one of the based one.
From someone who's made her YouTube career doing epic ponage on the people who wronged her, even boasting about how she'll always be able to outscream anyone. Guess actually...
Oh god, this is another one of the I win every drama because I scream louder than them. Take this, bitches.
And speak louder than words. Musha also...
Musha, why do they all have these names? You ever get one of those moments where you come across someone you have decent to good past memories of, but looking at what they're doing now, you can tell something's gone horribly wrong with them? Anyway, this was the week when the Discord reintroduced me to Julie. This long after the likes of Miss Galway, Vivian, V Omega, and God knows who else I don't recall. You would think I'd be desensitized to once promising individuals degrading over time into unreasonable extremist shit willows, or worse. Who the fuck pissed in your brain?
Also made a brief reemergence.
Now I'm not going to recount either of the situations that provoked this brief Twitter return. They're both long stories, and I'm not going to pretend that the other side in both scenarios didn't at least handle things in a less than stellar fashion at first.
During this time, comparing...
But when you're at the point where you continue to be hostile even after the situation has revolved. Nothing was revolved. What the fuck are you talking about? Or even in the face of someone politely correcting you in the case of the more recent one. How was that politely correcting? Then the idea of you being anywhere near my internet feeds give me exit reflux. Choke on
me to several sex pests.
Don't. In case they are block evading, that's why I decided the block is mutual. But then if that is what's happening, maybe take a hint or find something other than social media meltdowns to occupy your limited time on Earth. I hear stamp collecting and calligraphy are pretty neat. Calligraphy on your face.
And maybe even...
only alternative I can think of is far from within my principles to tweet in public and would get me rightfully cancelled, regardless of how supple I am about it, and the most vivid it would be honestly get are in the vein of frustrated, intrusive thoughts. Bro, stop listening to the voices in your head. Take your pills. Take your pills. Hey, Uplock, yes, don't forget to like and subscribe and all this stuff. I paid Bigman a visit and he looked like he was physically shaking with how mad he was that the chat wouldn't ignore what he did. Anyway, I've gone back to half asleep, grumpy rambling now, and I didn't uninstall Twitter from my phone for nothing. Extremists are a very bad thing, and you shouldn't tolerate their behavior, even, nay, especially if they're theoretically on your side. Oh my god, we call everyone an extremist again.
Alluded to wanting to tell me to hurt myself or worse.
Now back to making rhyming couplets out of funny headlights on my blue sky. Yes, please stay on blue sky.
Before getting...
Ah yes, and my honorable mention of an old video Julie did back in my best worst of 2017 list is indeed another thing to add to the laundry list of things about that video, which have aged about as well as cottage cheese on Jimmy Savile's front porch.
Ethered out of existence, ending by giving...
Bruh. Briefly popping my head back in since it's now marks the third time someone's made this mistake, but the actual reason of the comparison is literally right there in the tweet. The comparison isn't because they are a nonce, it's because I found them to be let down. Just so happens that the rest are all pedos.
Often even more passive-aggressive exit.
I originally had more to tweet about how predatory behavior wasn't the only thing most of the people I mentioned was guilty of, but since reading comprehension and trying to be diplomatic is apparently a sin to these people, it frankly isn't worth it. But before you show me all of these sentences, just call me a slur. I'm gonna be locking this account for good after giving people long enough to read this. So if you want to consider this a petty victory, if it'll help you sleep at night, be my guest.
Than I'm sure Heaton could ever hope.
Hi, Shadow. I never heard of this. No. The voices in my head tell me to harass Saint. Do it. Hope you're happy in managing to accomplish something that even Elon wasn't unlikable enough to succeed in.
To give. However, before he did that, he responded to Clown Teeth.
Hey, aren't you the asshole that said you'd be a better victim than Julie in your Way video because you didn't make 2 stupid tweets? Shut your victim-shaming mouth. Bah, I swear, these people are literally fighting about who's the best victim.
When she defended me and said that he didn't like her bringing...
Oh, and no, I don't take kindly to you trying to drag the Way situation into this. And I can tell you for a fact that as of me typing this, at least 2 of her victims don't take kindly to it either.
Ray's name into this. Dumbass! That was...
That's literally him! That's literally him who brought Ray's name into this. Bruh! Well, they get confused. They get confused over who brought what up.
You who did that. But actually, I'll let Clown Teeth get her lick back on that later. Spoilers! But yeah, very normal behavior.
Usually spoilers are a crime in here, but I let it paste.
From these people. Anyways, after silence for 20 days from Heaton, she released a statement in...
Took me a little while to get everything in order, but here it is. I was told over and over I was too impulsive, so I took my time to make sure it was all here. A document, yes! A Google Doc. Yes! I love me some Google Docs.
Which she begins off by saying she won't be making any excuses for behavior, as she then proceeds...
It's not an apology, it's an explanation.
To lie about me, her actions, and even blame my original video for why she was so grossly misinformed about my abuse. That...
You didn't explain it well enough, you know? To be fair, I understood it, so pretty much everyone should have understood it, so...
That is why we're...
L for Hiten.
Here today. I'm going to react to Heaton's this right now.
Truski, I can reach the like button from my cage. What's your excuse? Fair.
I have more proof than I will be letting on. I'm choosing not to show all of it publicly out of respect for some of the people involved. However, if anyone wants to continue lying about the private situations that I have proof for, I will post what I have. I am not one to just throw private screenshots around like it's nothing, but when someone is publicly lying about private events, that is enough for me to violate that privacy because they are
still too nice. But you know, nice.
Violating the public's trust. However, this is the one chance I'm giving for things not to go there. I'm not playing around. If the lying continues, I will make a pinned comment linking to any tweet I post with any proof that needs to be posted that I have. I'll even label the links and have that shit organized. Hand to God. Anyways, on to Heaton's document.
Let's go, document time.
Document starts with Heaton addressing a situation with someone who I don't really know or keep up with, and as far as I can tell, that person's been defending themselves just fine. So we're going to skip over that part and go straight to the part of the document where she talks about the Rosa Senate call that had blown up in recent times.
Second is the Rosa call.
Oh god, the AI voice is back.
Where people are getting the idea I said that it was okay to tell her to die, slut-shamed, or call her slurs, I don't know, because I literally said
she didn't say anything about slurs.
The opposite. I specifically said in that call I disavowed calling her slurs or going that far. What I can
listen, it's okay to tell her to die, not the slurs.
Condoned was the pettier insults.
One of the insults you specifically cited as being okay in the clips I posted was calling Rosa a whore. That is very blatant slut-shaming. Rosa is also a victim of SA, which, again, no one in the call knew, but that's why you shouldn't slut-shame and use insults like that in that manner.
Yeah, it's so accurate, it's insane. It really is.
Towards someone. I'm not talking about friends calling each other sluts and whores and bitches and whatever. That's an entirely different ballpark and is
I call all my friends whores.
Not at all what's happening here. The slut-shaming was deliberately malicious and was meant to demean Rosa in a sexual and misogynistic manner. Rosa was also called fat and made fun of for her living situation and needing a caretaker for her disability, both of which were discussed while you were there listening. It's in the video. I did the math on the timestamps. Do not test me on this. You did not condemn...
You know it's serious when the math comes out.
Any of that. All you wanted to do in that call was defend your right to insult people who you think deserve it, with slurs and calling family
Saint, maybe it is because you are a whore.
Members being seemingly the only things off the table. However, I would like to set the record straight that I did not ever say that Heaton defended the use of slurs, because I know she didn't, because I listened to that call and I know what I'm talking about. However, I should also make note that slurs...
Okay, X, but Ape Gamer also deserves it.
Isn't the only way to express bigoted sentiment, as there's a lot in that call, even without the slurs.
If you want to get mad at me, sure, but I have the hot take to this day that a pedophile enabler doesn't deserve my civility.
So does someone who they thought at the time was someone who SA'd two people, and they made them think these two SA victim OCs killed themselves, and then admitted to it being a lie. You think this is not then a case where it would be, can I appreciate? No?
Keep this bit in mind because we're going to be coming back
to it.
Same
as my the voices in my head told me. The voices in your head are always white quantum.
In detail later on.
I think when someone is a danger to children and allows multiple to be groomed in their presence, ambivalence to calling them ugly or stupid isn't a high crime. In that full call, I see Ponder and Harley's side, and we end up shaking hands in the middle. Not only have I never condoned the call since, but I also was one of the moderators who called for blood sports to be removed from the Senate, and was the only mod to put forward that we stop using slurs.
The only one.
Entirely after that call.
Heaton, if you don't want people thinking that you condone an event that you publicly took part in and defended at the time it was happening, you need to publicly...
Maybe don't be so defensive and,
retract your defense of the event.
Exactly, retract the defense. Exactly. And not be like, yeah, can you think of, you should assume that I did that. Gee. Have to say everything out loud here.
Damn it. It is insane to me that this is not clicking for someone who openly and loudly complained about people who wrong her, one of them very publicly, for not retracting and correcting one of their statements about her. This isn't
crazy how this works. I only call Saint a whore. I also call Fauci a whore.
rocket science. She then goes on to show proof of her denouncing the use of slurs in the Senate surfer, which I'm not going to interrogate.
Endearingly.
Because again, I never claimed the contrary. After that, she moves on to the main focus of the document, which is me, and how she handled my abuse situation with Fagos.
Finally, I want to talk about Chuli. I want to open up by saying again that the things I said were wrong.
And that's where you could have stopped. I
am not going to make an excuse for them. I never have, and she reserves
You never have? Excuse me?
right to be mad at me. I'm not saying she can't be frustrated by that thread. What she doesn't have the right to do is lie about my intent and paint me as a monster to others.
I think it's hilarious that Heaton spent 2 years lying
You know, you can be mad at me, that's fine, but don't you dare say anything mean about me. That's not fine.
About me, my intentions, my actions, painting me as an aggressor in my own abuse, turning me into the villain of my own abuse, and had no problem with that until 3 people consecutively came to her and told her that she fucked up. But I spent a couple of weeks talking about things she
3 people told her, yeah, that was kind of fucked up, and she immediately died.
Actually did, with a lot of proof, as we'll get into, and suddenly I'm lying about her intent and painting her as a monster. Okay, we'll see how those statements hold up.
So here's the thing. I did apologize for those things. Twice. Once publicly and once in private. The private apology came first. It was expressed that they wanted the original thread down, and a public apology made, so I did.
I think it's a little weird that
but the private apology was bullshit.
She's bringing this up as though it's some kind of reveal when I've been transparent.
To be transparent, Hiten gave me dog shit apology in November. I will read that one.
When all this blew up about the fact that Heaton apologized. And my response to the first apology is literally my pinned tweet. I guess you could...
On some level, I feel like it's on the person recording that call for stopping in the middle of the discussion. But I also think Hiten should have commented their side and made the final stance clear. Yeah, because they defended it. And then later, when the backlash came, they were like, I never apologized.
Could say that I never...
I apologize already. Why are you still angry at me? Exactly. I apologize. You have to forgive me. You can never say anything bad about me again. Fuck you.
Explicitly called the second one an apology, and that's fair, I guess. But I did talk about the contents of both apologies publicly already and directly showed them. A few people, like Musha, have criticized me for carrying...
point where you continue hostile even after...
on a situation that has already been resolved with this whole thing, which is just code word for she apologized.
Don't fucking speak for me on harm done to me being resolved. You don't even see what you did wrong. Hiten has yet to apologize for everything she's done, nor show the public exactly what she said since it happened. I had to do that for her. Go fuck yourself. Yes. Why am I still getting hate? My initial response to him saying that still slaying, not gonna lie. Yes, it's definitely still slays.
So shut up and move on.
Yeah, that's also something I never understand. When people, they kind of apologize, but they don't tell you exactly what for, you know? I've seen it quite a few times. Like, I'm sorry for everyone I hurt. I'm sorry for the things I did wrong. But if you don't know the initial situation, you don't even really know what they actually apologize for. I always find that very fascinating.
When I made it very clear in my public response to her one and only public apology that I was not happy with how she minimized all her horrendous actions.
The response is literally a thread of me detailing out a list of what she called out-of-pocket behavior actually was.
Towards me as just some out-of-pocket...
Listen, she was just a little silly. I'm sorry you feel that way, literally.
It was insulting. And before anyone jumps me for being too critical of Heaton's apology, I'm not really interested in taking into consideration how other people, some of whom participated in the public shitting on me and still haven't apologized at all, feel about how I talk about the person that did the absolute most to lie about my abuse, make me the villain of it, and sympathize with my abuser, only to then delete her thread and issue a 3-tweet-long apology.
Oh god. So I want to hop on here real quick and talk about the old Fagos thread now that I've talked to the people involved a little more. Too long didn't read. I don't stand by it anymore and I was in the wrong.
It doesn't mention my name once.
Oh, I wasn't in the best headspace. Oh, I was in a dark place. Listen. And came at it way too hot and fast. And I've mentioned before that I have a personal hair trigger for people claiming game end. Jump into a bed of flowers. Now, having been explained the depth of everything, though, I was out of pocket and genuinely sorry for everyone. I just now understood the entire situation. That's why I now understand why I was in the wrong.
Where she spends 2 sentences retracting what she said in the vaguest way possible after.
When their video come out, listen to their words. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore because I clearly don't have all the facts. Maybe you should have all the facts before you open your mouth. This is why when we do PR apologies, we directly address the allegations before apologizing. Otherwise, people will ask in the comments and spread further. Exactly. That's always why I'm so confused about it. Like, I feel like they hope, like they can kind of keep it on the down low because, you know, the super fans will always be like, no, no, don't feel bad, you're fine, Jeju. Jump into a bed first. Nah, jump into the underground for Undertale. Not Undertale, no.
After 2 years. That's straight up not good enough. Especially when the first apology you dropped off at my door through Aaron was prefaced with you talking about,
hey, I asked Aaron to send you this because I really don't want to get in a quarrel if I can just sum it up here. Neither of us like each other and neither of us need the stress.
all the things you didn't want to do for an apology. Oh. We'll get into why I hated that apology in more detail later.
Listen, I want to apologize, but I can't handle the stress of talking to you directly.
Because she brings it up. But newsflash, guys, basing your apologies for the harm you did to others on your convenience is wildly inappropriate. I never accepted
that's crazy.
Heaton's apologies. In fact, the aforementioned...
It was me being called a gaslighter for telling my abuser, who was at the time manipulating one of my best friends, that she was being manipulative, whether she meant to be or not. It was me being compared to a serial abuser, told I wasn't a victim, and that I only wasted a month of my life making that first Fagos video to get a few drunk points. It was me being told all of this by her, while every one of our mutual friends sat back and watched, said nothing, or agreed with her publicly. It was me being isolated from practically everyone I used to talk to, from my old community wondering, why didn't anyone say anything?
Mentioned pin tweet ends with me saying fuck you to Heaton and
fuck all of you. I'm wholly unimpressed. Hell yeah, Julie.
Everyone who ever sided with her. So how anyone got the idea that things were resolved after I publicly...
What do you mean? They were totally resolved. Everyone was fine. Everyone holded hands and sing Kumbaya, my lord. Come on.
Denounced her apology is wild to me.
Why did it take a year? Simple. I didn't know anyone had a problem.
I didn't know anyone had a problem. We blocked each other. I said sorry. Why are people still mad at me? I don't get it. Gee. G-O-G.
Julie and I have blocked each other. Safe to say I don't like her and she doesn't like me. Once again, I respect a boundary, and when I'm blocked, I don't circumvent it to watch the people I don't like. If I blocked you, I wouldn't want to see you. Simple as that. However, nobody ever reached out to tell me where I crossed a line at the time.
Yeah, sorry, but if you don't realize you crossed a line there by yourself, then, maybe you're stupid. I'm dealing with the flu for over a week. I'm feeling miserable, and yet somehow I'm still not as miserable as these people. Crazy how that works, huh, Luna? Come on, don't you remember? Friendship is magic. Exactly.
So naturally, I didn't think I did.
I'm gonna say this next part, and I'm gonna try not to sound like a total bitch, but this needs...
Do it. Do it. Let out the bitch. Come on. You can do it.
Needs to be said. Heaton, if no one really did come to you like you said, which did not happen, we'll get into it in a minute, there is a reason why people do not approach you, and that is because of how you are. In private and in public, you will twist people's words, make things about you that are not about you, ascribe intent that is not there, talk down to people, and be an absolute chore to deal with. I think the argument that we had back in 2019 that you pushed me to post by lying about it proved that a lot more than whatever the hell you thought it proved. In that argument, you started by telling...
You should have been a bitch. It really comes off as I don't really want to apologize, but everyone is side-eyeing me. It really is. Sound like a bitch all you want, exactly. With the police, are you forgetting that Jacqueline mentioned that the mother and driver have police visits planned so that they can turn them away? And where did I say this wasn't stressful for her? Can you, like, not put words in my mouth? Thanks. If Ponda made a video, sensitive information, I would be furious and never speak to her again. Dulu, calm down. Hiten wasn't putting words in your mouth. She was just stating how stressful the situation would be for Eugenia and using that as a reason as to why Jacqueline's tactic wasn't a great one. No, she did. How do you not see that telling the entire fucking internet very intimate details about her home situation, sharing the embarrassment of having a 5151 being called on her, and having a group of her closest friends be the ones to do this is incredibly stressful and demeaning. Yeah, my point is that that was an awful thing to do for her. But, yeah, my point was that that was an awful thing for her to do, and that it was a huge ass fucking mistake. And you're saying it's fine. How do you not see this is stressful for her? I literally never said anything like that.
Telling me how I felt about the topic at hand. And when I told you to stop and clarified that I was just asking to hear...
And why do you think it's an okay thing to do? I've had a viral infection for 2 weeks. I feel your pain. Brr, get better, you all.
About other apparent solutions because nothing from what I had heard at that...
I'm saying I'm having trouble seeing how alternatives work.
Point convinced me that they would work. You just condescended me with, well, you've never been
in this situation before, I would imagine. Oh, shut the fuck up.
In the situation before, I'd imagine. Like, Heaton, neither had you. No one in your life had a giant platform that entirely centered around and profited from actively suffering from the most deadly mental illness in the world. And when I asked you to elaborate...
The alternative certainly wouldn't further exacerbate the problem like this tactic has potential to do. I have. Several times. This is the worst thing you can do. Also, Hiten, your situation does not seem comparable in my opinion. So explain to me how the others work. Outing someone's mental condition and abuse is dangerous, because not only does it humiliate and stress out the person being abused, it gives the abuser the motivation to fucking retaliate. Besides the police, because I already know those won't work based off what Jacqueline has said. I can't, because it's not my place to tell you about someone else's mental health and situation without the express consent. Jesus fucking Christ.
On the possible solutions for this situation, you started screaming at me about how I was demanding you divulge personal stories.
You started screaming at me in text.
About self-harm and suicidality.
Oops. So you want me to betray a close friend's trust to prove a point about a bad video to you? Are you serious, my dude?
Even when I was...
Can you not give a generalized description of what the others could do, like a lawsuit? Or perhaps what it might do for this situation? That's not what you're asking for. You want a specific example of this situation, and to do that, I would need to tell you details about a friend, and I'm not gonna do that. I never said specific example.
Directly telling you that I was not asking for that. And I know that this argument happened literally 5 years ago. But given more recent arguments I've seen that I choose...
It's okay. We love bringing up old stuff.
Not to disclose right now, take that with what you will. I would be lying if I said these trains aren't still present in the current day. You also straight up don't get to say that no one ever told you anything. No. You were confronted, several times even, publicly about your tweets and actions towards me. You just deflected and dodged and lied whenever you were called out, much like you still are. You don't get to say, but no one ever told me I crossed a line as an
Hiten never lie, Hiten never cry.
Excuse for why it took this long, when that is exactly what I told you when I initially responded. Since the beginning, from when all of this happened, I called your threat about me.
Already read the
victim shaming. I called you out for telling me I'd be responsible for Fagos.
Yeah, but those times didn't count because that was you.
killing themselves. I called you out for lying about my intentions and comparing me to a serial abuser. And I told you you didn't know me well enough to make the character adjustments like you had. And I told you to stay in your lane. And what did you do? You completely ignored everything I called out and deflected.
She swerved from one lane to another.
Saying that the reason why you...
Since you're looking... Despite having me blocked, yeah, we don't talk because you tried to push me into divulging someone else's personal mental health info because you wanted to be right in an argument. Shame. Shame upon ye.
You don't talk to me anymore is because I tried to pry private mental...
Okay, but I was silly. It was a bit. I was in a dark place, you know. I just went a little nutto.
Health information about one of your friends out of you, which was a lie about that private argument that you probably didn't think I could argue. But surprise, I could, and when I proved...
Hi, I just wanted to clear up one thing before moving on, since I don't want to give this person attention. I'm in the server where that argument happened. Here, we were talking about Eugenia, and I was asking how different help methods work, because I didn't know or understand them.
To the public that you had lied about what happened in that argument.
I've come to the conclusion this drama is stupid. Just now, Luna? I've changed, yes. In the middle of a few days, I changed. New day, new me, bitch.
Did you fuss up and apologize? Did you retract anything? No, Heaton. You accused me of stalking.
I now have definite proof that Dulu is stalking my account, despite having me blocked and posting about me, where I can't see it, and taking an argument we had out of context because it's in a chat. I left because they and Junkie made me so uncomfortable. I left. You realize that Julie has all the screenshots while you only speak your useless words? She's now blocked, so if she keeps posting about me, no, she's block evading to harass me too. I'm done posting about this. I said what needed to be said. I hope Clown and B are gonna be okay, and I hope Fagos gets the psych help he really needs instead of doing something bad.
Stalking you and said that
more allegations to Electric Boogaloo.
if I said anything more about you shit-talking me, then I would be...
I remember Hiten locked down and spiraled after this video came out. Yes.
Block evading to harass you. Then fast forward to October 2022 when you were directly...
Oops. I caught people speculating on that bitch. It's not Dolu or Wabusakin. It's a thing my friend used to refer to Rachel Mills' Kuhai. I had my thoughts. It's what you call a abuse apology about how Dulu handled things. But this wasn't a slight on them. Of course, honey, it wasn't. It would never be.
Confronted about the tone policing and...
Thank you for clearing these up. Why is it okay for you to tone police Julie for how they handled their traumatic situation, but it's not okay for Spoctor to tone police how you handle your traumatic situation? Thank you. Finally, someone says it.
In your comments of the video where you bitch...
She didn't, though.
For 40 minutes.
I don't know why is it okay for you to deliberately misconstrue her points and blatantly mispresent them, to try to gaslight her.
Minutes about being tone police.
I don't know why is it okay for... Look already with it.
And having...
It's sad that even though Spock said not to, fans are still coming just to defend him and ignore what His did to deliberately try to make what Hiten said worse than it was. So anyone who calls out a hypocrite is a Spoctor fan defending him. Y'all suck so much ass. I love the little notes.
Your victimhood denied by a public...
Who said I was a fan? I'm just not a fan of double standards and hypocrisies. Maybe I should have put out a disclaimer next time.
Figure. And instead of reflecting...
You keep saying Spoctor instead of the stupid fucking lizard. You're going to summon Yen. Good. Please just show when this happened and give some insight instead of arguing with random people. Because I'm still waiting for people to show her saying this.
About your actions.
Yeah, because she won't say it herself. My issue wasn't with this her anger, was literally the exact same thing she was getting angry at him for. Yeah, already read that one.
Lied about me and claimed I did things that straight up didn't happen, and ended off by saying that I stooped to Fagos level and was an aggressor in my own abuse. So you want to come on here and be all like, well, no one told me. Heaton, you're insufferable to deal with, and you have been every single time you've been confronted about your actions in this situation, which is probably why you're surrounded.
The notes make me laugh. Yes, I love the little notes.
By yes men, half of which are probably too scared to confront you about anything you do, because this is how you are.
And probably they also don't think for themselves, let's be honest here.
It should not be the responsibility of other people.
If you guys ever become yes men, you get into the cage.
Especially other victims like Clown and Ponder, to make sure that you aren't being a disgusting human being. Seriously, how fucking old are you? And also, if I'm being
5.
honest, you don't deserve a private confrontation for being a horrendous piece of shit in public. You deserved to be put on blast publicly, which is why I did it.
A few people have asked why it was sent through Aaron and not directly. Well, earlier on, I had been told that I was asked not to be present for the Fagos call in the Senate by Chuli. Naturally, I assumed this meant that she didn't want to be around me. So I respected the boundary.
I just respected her boundary, of course. God damn it, Quantum and X! Hiten isn't just a red bitch, she's a red queen.
Sent it through an intermediary I knew we could both trust. It's also why I haven't attempted to make contact since. When people express they don't want to be around me, I don't put myself in
I'll only be a yes man. God damn it, all of you.
Proximity to them.
Heaton, that's not what happened and you know it. First of all, the screenshots don't align with the timeline.
We love it when people rewrite the past. Love to see it, love to see it. It didn't even happen like that.
And you gave us. I find it really weird that she tries to paint herself as someone noble that's just trying to respect my boundaries because I had asked for her not to be present in the Fagos Senate call, and that's why she sent it through a third party, when that apology was sent to me through Aaron over a month before.
What? Oh, Leo. What do you want? This is the second time you've sent me another friend request. I was just curious how I choose to keep being a creep when I haven't really been doing much of anything outside of just making dumb shit on Twitter that I've since deleted, and on YouTube that just has a fan content on it. What aspect of that is creepy? And yeah, it's not made up, but in the way that I specifically told you about when I was in call with you, Lio, I really do not give a shit if I have to dive into a Senate call and prove any sort of innocence on my end, but I really hate to just be told I'm a freak and shit without any, and I do mean any, backing to it. Sure, we can schedule a Senate call. Yippee! Yes, Hello Light was Fagos when they requested their call. 11, so they're just... How do American dates work? Well, this is embarrassing. 12, 11... So this is just a few days or a month apart.
For Fagos to even ask Lio for a call in the Senate. And that is because the timeline is wrong. Because Heaton is lying. Heaton did not send that apology through Aaron because she didn't want to disrespect my boundaries. She literally explained why she did it the way that she did in the beginning of her apology. I don't know why she's acting like we can't read the words she herself typed out that very obviously contradict the
Listen, she just hoped none of you can read.
Story she's telling. A very big thing that's missing from here is that Heaton will later talk about how 3 people, that being Lyle Convoy, Aaron Tempest, and Pondersprocket, approached her this year. As in, after both the private and public apologies. That's not how that happened. You see, how the story actually goes is I approached Lio on September 18th of last year while Ponder, Clown, and I were working on our Fagos video, which is still in progress. And I asked him if he could record a
Hi Lio, we're working on the video right now and I'm having some concerns about calling out how the community reacted to me blowing up on Fagos. After she revealed that she had lied about everything and me trying to call out the victim blaming back then. Things like you don't care about outing a predator. You just don't want your fifis hurt when you're being called out for shit behavior. You're a manipulative, spiteful bitch who wants to win a fight, not help a victim. You're almost entirely beyond hope if you think that's victim blaming. If Fagos wins up dead, we all know who's to blame for pushing that. You're egotistical at showing off. Grow up and start acting like an adult. I know in the call we had in July you said that I should fight back against these people again if they start pulling the same stuff. Good advice. Would you be willing to voice that support in a recording that we can include in the video? Also would have DM'd this, but I don't think I have you added, so I can't direct message. Let me add you. Okay.
A snippet denouncing the things said about me the day Fagos' video dropped, like he had in a call prior to all of this, where I explained the Fagos
both accounts? Yeah.
Situation to him.
Okay,
he
sent.
asked for proof.
Do you have a list or screenshots of who said what to you? Of back then? Yeah. Can you show me, please? Yeah, 1 second. And all the shit.
And I sent it to him, which included Heaton's tweets. He also asked why.
Which one of your videos had dropped at this point? My first one. This was after Fagos uploaded her initial video. I'll have to repost it to your first one and listen to the Fagos one. I think I know someone that has it. To see what was known at the time. Sounds good. All of these tweets are still up too. Any specific reason why you want my take?
Why I wanted his take in particular, and I was honest. And
back when this happened, a lot of people, specifically creators in the community, either agreed with these takes explicitly or choose to say nothing. I can think of like 2 people on Twitter at the time who said anything against what people were saying about me for having a reaction to the fact that it was a lie. Basically, no one had my back, and it made me rethink of what had happened to me was right. I know when I told you about this back in July, you said it was wrong, so I thought it'd be nice to have someone known in the community to actually voice it.
Said it was because of his standing in the community, which
I suppose that makes sense.
At the time was very sturdy. Lio did not make a recording at the time, and instead of
Luna, there's no hate to Lio, but if I'm at the point where I need to join a syndicate, I'm just leaving the internet. Oh no, Luna, no.
Went to Heaton to talk to her.
We still need you.
About her tweets. I had mixed feelings about this, but I've since learned that he didn't make one at the time because hopeless motherfucking Peaches made it
bump, bump, bump.
Our life goal to make sure that Lio and the community didn't trust us in the slightest because we just use him. So, you know, the very reason why I felt I should ask someone with a stable standing in the community in the first place. Wild that they would say that about me given their history of events. These fucking people, man.
Crazy how this works, huh? Crazy how the world sometimes works.
Anyways, I don't hold anything personally against Lio for that, and to talk about Lio for a second, actually, I am extremely disappointed in him this year, because on one hand, I do not approve of practically anything he's done since the Cat Slayer, Senate 2.0, whatever the fuck we're calling it, has been created. I think I was pretty evidently upset in the chat of Streamline Workshop and Mali's stream about him over what I was seeing and hearing. But I also want to address that line.
The evolutionary urge is coming back to me. No, Ambre, behave.
Lio has done good things for me. The Fagos call being the most obvious instance of that. But also how he defended me in the Cat Slayer when the server was really mad at me and spreading a ton of false information about me.
Look, I think it just needs to be recognized.
Lio's voice memos from over the Cat Slayer Discord server on June 13th, 2024.
And everybody's talking about how, well, oh, Chuli's wanting, you know, sympathy in droves. I don't think that's what Chuli wants. And frankly, even if that is what they wanted, this full-grown adult dicked with them when they were a kid.
Yes.
Harassed them, stalked them, gaslit them, got them to believe they did horrible things when they had literally nothing to do with anything because it wasn't real. And then got dogged on for essentially victory lapping when Fagos was running away from everything. Like, yeah, I think Chuli's due a little more than a bit of sympathy. Like, that does something to people. Like, I don't understand why this is a difficult concept. I think there's some leniency to be given. I think that here's the problem when it comes to interpersonal things. And Lord knows I struggle with this too. I mean, obviously, how many times have you heard me yell, oh, you're...
Big oof. Big oof.
X age, how do you not know? Julie, from what I can tell, from what very little I do know, is they probably had to grow up pretty doggone fast. They're going to be more competent at 19 than perhaps other people would be.
That's true again, because he had to go through the shit from 16 on.
Maybe even perhaps
this
more
shit alone
than I was. So I think that it's not fair to compare yourself to somebody else at that time frame. I get what Julie's saying, but not everybody has the same equipment. So I think that there has to be some nuance there. I think that in situations like this, there has to be a wider range, and there also has to be a lot more mercy and grace shown. But that's also my personal opinion, having dealt with a lot of stuff like this. Now, what I will say that I think needs to 100% come to a stop here is everybody immediately wanting to be negative or dog on Julie without understanding where Julie's coming from here.
Yeah, that's also true. Most of the people, like, one even said, yeah, couldn't even watch the video, didn't like the representation. But fuck them, they blocked me.
Because you gotta keep in mind, they dealt with a lunatic for a while, and then when they finally start taking the power back, they get dogged on by no small part of their own community. That had to be extremely isolating. So no, I don't blame Julie for being angry.
So on one hand, I'm thankful for those things, and I don't want anyone to say that I'm not. But it almost upsets me even more, because then I know that this man who was doing what I would consider, in very brief terminology, pretty bad things, is also capable of demonstrating such well-articulated, sweet, unapologetic empathy towards me to a crowd who doesn't want to empathize with me. So that's where I'm at right now. I can give credit where credit is due, but I also don't support Lyle being in charge of things that carry weight and can have an effect on other people, because it's evident to me that he's not capable of handling these situations properly. So, anyways, back to Heaton, our main star. Fast forwarding
the main character. I always want to call her Hiten. Heaton, okay.
September to November 5th of last year, I am just trying to enjoy my life. I just turned 21. I was getting ready to see Doja Cat in concert for her Scarlet Tour, which was amazing, by the way. And out of nowhere, I get a message from Aaron
Aaron Tempest. Evening, Shirley. It's been a while, and I hope you've been doing well since the last time we've spoken. I was asked by Hiten to relay this message to you. Okay, that was a private apology.
Tempest relaying Heaton's private apology. I immediately did not like this apology for several reasons, so let's get into it.
Hey, I asked Aaron to send you this because I really don't want to get into a call if I can just sum it up here. Neither of us like each other, and neither of us need the stress.
Yeah, hey, let me just sum up my apology, okay? Just shut the fuck up, just forgive me already. Why are you still mad at me? Come on now.
I know we're only 2 sentences in, but I'm gonna be honest, this is a really shitty way to preface an apology.
Yeah, not a great start.
Really insulting that you think you can just come on here and tell the public that you sent this apology out of respect for my boundaries, when this is literally how you started the first apology you ever sent me after the 2 years where you were continuously disgusting in the things you said about me and the abuse I faced. The fact that you thought you, as the person who did the harm...
But it was stressful for her. Come on now, she's sensitive.
Could come up to me and just go, I don't want to get into a call because we both don't like each other and we don't need to. As the person apologizing, and just drop it off at my doorstep without any kind of public return.
Literally just throwing it. Happy birthday, hate you, keep my name out of your mouth. So sorry, I guess. Literally just throwing the brick inside the window. Started a race and immediately backhand the...
Or even asking if there was anything I wanted you to do to help remedy the harm you caused. It really just showed me how much you meant this apology and cared about accountability, which is barely at all, if at all. She then went on...
It was so stressful for Hit, don't you understand?
...to apologize for insinuating that Fagos didn't hurt or victimize me, and actually empathized with me for the one and only time during this entire debacle, talking about how she should have known better than to downplay my pain as that's something that's happened to her. But we'll see as I'm about to talk more in detail about how long that lasted. After this was sent to me, I knew I didn't like it, but I also didn't want you to just react right out of the gate. I wanted to wait and see if she,
So I needed to take some very deep breaths to not start screaming.
had the good sense to correct what she publicly said about me. I asked anyone I had talked to about Heaton if they had said anything, and I found out that the reason why Heaton apologized to me was because Ponder had been in a VC with—
Did you talk to Hiten? Someone set her down, cause with Aaron in my DM sending me a C- grade apology from Hiten because I'm a blabbermouth. God, what happened?
Some SCC people and candidly talked about what Heaton did without naming her. Aaron Tempest.
Aaron sat her down and told her I was not happy. Guaranteed remember that call I was in the other day. I mentioned with Linlin. Oh no, not Linden. Hey, I got you a nice sweet present. It's a Velociraptor. Okay, thanks, bye. Listen, I love Velociraptors. And Susie and Sarah and Avi and whatnot. Well, I blabbed that I was particularly not happy about someone who victim blamed you and that it basically made us question our victimhood. But I was speaking very vaguely about who it was. Aaron asked, wait, was this Hiten? Me, it was Hiten. He dipped from the call soon after that, and I thought I immediately realized he was going to relay that to Hiten. So guaranteed, Hiten knows I was not happy with that, and that I and many others consider it to be victim blaming. Lamau,
who was in that call, was able to—
Hi, name. Can you start over for me? Next time I will.
Figure out just from the description of victim shaming that it was Heaton, and when asked if that's who Ponder was talking about, had it confirmed to him by her. Aaron basically immediately left the call, and the next day I ended up with that apology from Heaton.
Damn, that was fast, just the next day?
A month went by, and nothing. No retraction, all of the threads still up. Come to find out that that's because she still stood by the rest of her thread. The claiming that I gaslit Fagos, the tone policing, the guilting me by saying that if I kept tweeting then Fagos might kill themselves and it'll be my fault. Yeah, she stood by all of that still. And I know that because that's what she told Ponder when she found out that Clan and I had asked her not to be present in the Fagos Senate call. Yeah, remember how she said she heard about that and just naturally assumed that we must not want to be around her? Well, that didn't happen. Heaton
what a surprise.
Immediately contested that.
Didn't happen? What a surprise.
That request to Ponder, demanding to know why we were trying to go above her and just being exactly how I described her earlier. And that is what led to the third confrontation about her thread and what finally made her take down the entire thing and issue a public apology. So Heaton, how are you going to sit here and say that I'm lying about your intent? Heaton, you're lying about your intent. Even when you speak your truth about what your intent apparently is, it's so easily
Listen, the only intent is just like, I want to look like the good guy. Please, please, please.
disprovable because you would have to be a time traveler in order for it to even be possible. My truth and the truth about what you did and why you did it comes from your literal words that you speak and type. If you don't want to be painted as a monster, do not fucking act like a monster. Especially if you're going to then claim I'm...
Is there enough gaslighting in the ACC to power a small island nation? Yes.
When I go off about what you have said, and your only alternative for your reasoning is either literally physically impossible or stupidly unbelievable. I'm gonna go ahead and move on now and let a decent chunk of the document play, as there's a lot that Heaton explains, so I'm just gonna let her do all of that before interjecting again.
In regards to the comments about tone policing, I've made it no secret that I don't like victory lapping.
But when I have a victory, bruh, I will victory lap, I will do my little victory dance, I will teabag my fallen enemy.
But I have to make clear why. I don't like the idea of dancing on someone's downfall publicly, because I feel like—
not publicly. Privately you can dance on them. Okay, gotcha.
It's disrespectful to the people who were victimized and turned something very dangerous into entertainment for bystanders. If Chuli wanted to celebrate, they were more than allowed to. I just wouldn't have done it publicly.
You should have just been quiet about it, you know?
We're allowed to disagree, but I don't like it. Never have. Didn't like it when people did it for me either, as a matter of fact. Knowing what I know now, I understand it. I personally wouldn't have done it, but condemning it publicly was not correct.
Knowing what I know now, I just didn't have all the information, guys. I just didn't have all the information. Of course. No Fortnite dance on someone's grave, SMH.
And as well. I also thought...
Exactly, Gerald. If I get a victory, I'm taking the full lap.
And still think that prodding at people who are unstable is dangerous. As someone who has not only been that unstable, but...
Of course you have been unstable, of course. We're all unstable, you ain't special.
...has been surrounded by the aftermath of that instability, I don't condone it. Not when Chuli does it, and not when Lio does it either. I've told the old man I'll never push those things because...
Oh, I told the old man. Ooh, calling him old man now. Hey, Duke, okay, pause the stream, I will get tea and cake. JK, love you. Love you too, Quantum. Bring some cake for me too.
Because I know that if something happens, the suffering that...
Not gonna lie, I'd straight up Fortnite dance on your grave. Understandable, Trusky.
...follows is on my hands, and I can't take that. Agree to disagree if you want, but having spent most of my life surrounded by
the suffering that follows is on my hands. Oh my god. No, it's called reaping what you sow, bitch.
Aftermath of suicides that have been both painful for the victim and the people around them at the time, I'm a little more cautious than most.
I have spent most of my life surrounded by the aftermath of suicides. Brother. My brother in Christ. And you think one internet toughie will now cause everyone suicide? Come on now, come on.
And the people around them at the time, I'm a little more cautious than most.
I fully respect that someone may have reasons for not personally wanting to do something or refusing to condone a type of behavior. But what confuses me is that that was never the issue here.
The collective ACC is about as stable as a Beyblade. I have to refrain from saying stuff since I have no more patience. Doesn't name. It's fine, it's fine.
No one had a problem with...
The difference between your instabilities, I got mine professionally diagnosed. We are not the same. We got it on paper.
what Heaton personally refuses to do in her situations. I'm sure most people didn't give a shit. Where the issue lies is how you tried to control what I was allowed to say to someone that abused me, and how you did that. Like, it's interesting to me that you talk about how you think victory lapping is disrespectful to victims, despite me being the youngest victim of hers. But forget to mention that the only way your standard—
Guys, it's fine about others, but not if you are the minor. No one cares. You should be more mature for your age. God, I hate this. I hate this. Can't say my brother in Christ, say my sister in Satan. My thems and Lucifer.
Would be applicable to me is if you didn't see me as a victim, which is exactly what happened. Also, to be frank, I have my own doubts about this whole paragraph. Oh. I'm not going to doubt your experiences, but I am going to doubt the stability and consistency of the morality you say stems from those experiences. Because
ableism. I can't believe you will doubt mentally ill person. Hiten talks about not celebrating things publicly, but then also has enough public posts about her mental health to rival a copy of One Piece. True.
You have allowed, endorsed, and even done everything that you're saying here is horrible and that you would never do. Yet it's clear to me that you either intentionally are trying to categorize your actions as something else, or are so biased that you can't even see what you're actually doing. Because—
What do we tip? So delusional that she doesn't even see that she does these things herself? Or just has bias towards herself? What do we think? What do we think? What do we type? I will say delusional.
I will say this right now. It is ridiculous to speak about this as though there was only one way in which the way you talk about someone online can turn the damage they did into entertainment and push them into a negative or potentially dangerous headspace. And you are too grown to be using personal trauma.
See, the difference is when I have fun, it's fine. It's fine. If I don't have fun, it's not fine. That's a big difference here.
As a morality compass that everyone else needs to follow. Like, Heaton, you insinuated—
this is, I'm locking the account down. I'm probably not going to be streaming this week. I've cracked. Imagine you're saying I've cracked and just be like, yeah, I'm going to take a week off. See you next week.
that me simply putting you on blast on Twitter in the mean way that I did was going to land you in the hospital. So does that mean that no one is allowed to do Twitter callouts or even just directly call someone out in a mean way? If that's the case, then
yeah, that's not allowed. That's not allowed. That is abuse.
You're definitely in the hot seat, considering that's, the reason why your channel ever got as big as it did. I also feel the need to point out the wild absurdity that Heaton is talking about how she's extra cautious not to do things that she thinks might put people over the edge because she just can't handle how it would feel if anyone was pushed over the edge, and how she hates victory lapping so much because it turns trauma and hurt into entertainment, all while modding for the Senate server. As in the server...
Yeah, that doesn't bite too well.
That recorded and published pieces of shit, and sometimes not, getting dunked on for other people to watch and listen to, with the owner even referring to those videos several times as drawing background noise. Is that...
As a mentally ill person, the biggest doubter of my own mental health is me. Does that make me ableist towards me? Yes, you're ableist. Cancelled, Luna. Cancelled. You don't want this ableist shield here.
Not literally turning others' trauma into entertainment, and I'm not even saying that inherently needs to be a bad thing. I was legitimately helped by Lyle through the Senate server when he allowed me, Ponder, and Clown to jump Fagos when she tried to lie about us. That call was publicized, and I'm gonna be honest, was pretty goddamn entertaining. But it's still turning trauma into content for others to consume, is it not? You also state that you think prodding at unstable people is dangerous and that you would never do it, but again, your descriptions are too vague, because, realistically, what...
Also, let's be real. If you're someone, I heard there are some people who don't exactly put all their diagnosis in their bio. There's some people like that. I know, crazy thought. How do you know how mentally ill everyone is you want to call out? Do you want to see the doctor first? There are two wolves inside of you. One is ableist, the other is ableist. You are ableist. Damn. You got me.
What counts as prodding at people who are unstable? Because at face value, that certainly sounds like it can apply to some of the things that you have defended, like the Rosa call. And you know what? Let's go further, because that also sounds very applicable to your videos. Like this one. How are you going
Good riddance.
To say that you think prodding at emotionally unstable people and victory lapping on their excommunication is dangerous, and then make a video titled Good Riddance with a thumbnail of you looming over the cowering people you're ostracizing, wherein you continuously scream into your microphone about them, tout how they'll never be allowed back into the community, and even out new accounts.
Listen, they were too neurotypical. You don't understand.
That one of them is making.
Tibby makes an alt account because of course she does. She wants to take accountability after all. Keyblade then leaks his DMs with Susie to a private server.
Not Keyblade, no! Okay, I take the neurotypical back.
Tippy joins in on trying to paint her as two-faced, of course. Tippy has another alt. If none of you
Tippy mentioned.
Be adults willingly, fine. I will make you be an adult, and you will...
Can you imagine taking this serious? I will make you an adult. I will make you be an adult.
Take the accountability in the way that you should be taking it, not the way you want to take it. No hiding, no running. You
can't run from me anymore.
Done. Good riddance.
So you're allowed to do all that and then defend yourself by being...
It also puts the unrealistic standard that in order to call someone out, you need to psychoanalyze whoever you're covering beforehand. Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I just have the hot take that pedo enablers and shit stains don't deserve my civility. But I'm a piece of shit because I included...
Ambre, I will make a man out of you. We'll pull a little in the Mulan. I'm gonna make a man out of you.
Crab emojis. Okay. Another huge reason as to why I'm bringing this up is that one of the people in the thumbnail, who is also the person whose new accounts she kept exposing, publicly expressed suicidal ideation prior to Heaton's video. And for that matter, everyone else's videos on that fucking situation. She was condemned and publicly chastised.
I'll be fair to Hiten about Keyblade that fuck told someone who tried to Persona 3 that they should have succeeded, something to that effect. Yeah, I know, but again, in her own rule book, Acting like that is not kosher. It's not very demure. Not very thoughtful.
For doing that. And her ideation was never really even taken seriously or even acknowledged by Heaton from what I can tell, which is really weird for someone who cared so much about the mental health of a self-admitted sex offender and chronic liar.
Tippy then goes on to sad girl post on Twitter about how sad she is about the fact that she let a predator's dick rider share...
Oh god, this voice. My eardrum. Jesus. How do people... How are people in calls with these people? God. This was my top when they talk about forced transition, yes. This is literally me running after them. I will make a man out of you.
Spaces with his victims.
That's even assuming that Heaton even believes in the person's ideation, because as far as I can tell, she has no problem outright denying the mental health of people she doesn't like. Do I now get to come on here and claim that you're a liar and faking your nervous breakdown because I don't like you? Or
yes, that's how it works. You get it.
Worse, because you clarified your safety at a later point in time?
Oh. I'll clarify. I'm safe. I'm just unwell. I had a little bit of a nervous breakdown earlier. Been a while since one of those. Someone on the internet was mean to me.
You know, that thing that you did to Fran, who was a minor at the time? And again, none of this explains why you were so uniquely cruel to me for being a bad victim, because you weren't just condemning my behavior. You were being disgusting. The way that you talked about me, my pain, and my past is only the way that you talk about someone that you hate. This is not what erring on the side of...
You get used to bad voices too. I never... Listen, I listened to so many Senate calls. I never got used to fucking Peach's voice and also this voice. I don't know why. I think they hit a specific nerve in my brain. It's just like, ow, ow, no. Back, and I bought you some glasierter Karottenkuchen, Dew. Thank you, Quantum. Love ya. Mwah.
Caution and being more cautious than most looks like Heaton. People aren't generally mad at you because you don't think awful people deserve your civility. They're mad at you because you're a giant, loud, obnoxious hypocrite. Heaton, you fucking suck, and I would be embarrassed to be anything like you.
Ah, yes. Base.
But you know what? I'm not going to come on here and say that you're full of shit in terms of saying that you think you care about the safety of others in that way. I'm not even going to say that you have to believe that other person's ideation. But I will ask that you put your money where your mouth is and either change your behavior to better align with what you say you give a fuck about, or change your outlook on things. Because right now your morals seem entirely conditional. And for someone who touts them as loud and with as much conviction as you, that pisses people off.
This year...
Yes. Oh, now it goes.
Several people reached out to me. Aaron Tempest, Lyle Convoy, and Ponder Sprocket all came to me and explained the details. Ponder especially.
Oh, I needed the details explained to me. Oh, of course.
The two of us ended up having a very productive conversation where she explained to me the details of the situation that I had missed. For example, I didn't know that there were 2 different claimed victims of Feg.
What? How did you not know this? Did you even watch the video?
From what I'd seen, I thought they were the same person.
What?
At the time, I was going off of only Julie's video.
Oh no, she's stupid. That wasn't Julie's video. I remember that.
Which, as everyone I spoke to agreed, did not convey the story well, which is why a newer video is currently in the works.
Oh no, she's retarded. Oh no.
I'm going to try and go over this point and not get so fucking angry over what we're about to discuss. So Heaton here...
Heaton sounds like one of those basic mean girls. Yes, exactly.
...is trying to paint things as though my video was poorly done and poorly conveyed the story of my abuse with Fagos. So poorly, in fact, that it was easy to miss key details, like the fact that Fagos admitted to assaulting 2 girls, not just one.
Yes, I never thought there was just one girl. Bah!
And that both had taken their own lives. So, okay, let's go ahead.
She definitely didn't actually watch. I remember very clearly that there were 2 victims after so long. Yeah, I also still remember that, and I have the fucking memory of a goldfish.
And see how I conveyed those details in my original video. which is still public, to see if it would truly be understandable that Heaton missed that detail. As I said, another allegation made in the doc, as well as the paceman later on, was one of Jay alleging that Fagos sexually assaulted her while making another girl who we'll call
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. There was one girl who was sexually assaulted and the other one who was sober was made to watch.
Watch after trapping them both in a room with them. A was said to...
I never... What? It's literally... Oh no. Anyway. Hiten be like, oh god, you can't just ask someone why they're mentally ugh.
have later committed suicide, and the paceman stipulates that Fagos was mentioned in the note, or at the very least the abuse was. Some may think that seems implausible because they think justice would have come of it, but I believe that's an ignorant view to take on the matter, as the sentencing rate for silence is extremely low in both the US and in Canada, where Fagos is from, made even worse by the fact that the victims, J and A, were said to have been trans women who the law is already incredibly unkind to, and admitted to being drunk and not only locking both girls in the room with them and groping Jay, who was drunk and couldn't consent, while the other girl was sober and had to sit and watch, but they also admitted to keeping both girls silent on the matter. No, Heaton. That
apparently doesn't count to Heaton. Yeah, apparently not.
Detail was not poorly conveyed. You just fucking watched the video on mute with your eyes closed. This is not a valid point. This is not a valid excuse. And you and your friends are the only ones who somehow...
And again, one of the others even said, yeah, I didn't watch the video. Was badly presented. God. Even if you just listen to it. I always do this while I'm at work. I have one earbud in and I just listen to some stuff when I try to inform myself. And even I got to remember some details better than those people, god damn it.
I missed all the important details in my video. Even fucking Jar, shit person as he is, got this detail right and is sick and twisted.
Even Jar. Hear me out, I only asked why they were mentally ill because I'm mentally ill. I don't understand social cues. You know what? Fair point, fair point.
To joke about Fagos lies at my expense and at my friend's expense. And you know why? Because it was clear as day in my video.
Oh yeah.
You know it's bad when even Jar got it.
Fagos, do you know that Ponder won't out people all too well? Like, didn't you make up a story about you sexually assaulting 2 trans women, which put
why did he animate it like that?
them into committing toaster and bath or something? And then Ponder, Dulu, Izzy Hazard, and a few other people just kept their mouths shut about it for the longest time?
What the fuck is wrong with this guy? I mean, I know everything is wrong. Me when I shame victims of manipulation and gaslighting for not breaking free sooner. Delete your account. Hard.
Yeah, that was a weird thing that happened.
And you know what? Can we go back to what you said the misunderstanding was back in December last year when Ponder and you talked?
She straight up didn't know that a part of the story was that Jess had also allegedly killed herself and that this was on us and had been weighing on us for years. She seemed legitimately surprised when I broke everything down and filled her in on the full context of what had been going on.
What? Didn't even realize. Ah! Why can't they connect 2 brain cells?
According to her, she thought Jess had been arrested, and that was it. And the only girl who killed herself was the one from the beginning, which would have been on Fagos, not us.
So it went from that you knew there were 2 victims, but only one killed themselves during the time of the essay, to now it's that you only thought there was one person the entire time, and
Listen, Hiten was very confused at the time. It was in a dark place. Oh, these people give me a headache.
That the one person who was essayed was the same person that got arrested? Heaton. Come on. None of what Heaton says about her actions regarding my abuse story are honest. I believe that 100%. She either doesn't remember them genuinely or she's lying on purpose, both being very concerning. With that, I'd like to unpack some of your other lies about my video, like the gas.
If you describe someone's suicide as toaster and bath, I doubt you ever actually cared about those victims. I don't want to say to be fair to Jar. Well, at this point, he knew it was a made-up story. So, if it was actually someone who committed suicide, that would have been something completely different, but it's still fucked up.
Gaslighting claim Where the fuck did I ever gaslight Fagos in those screenshots? I can only imagine that the part she's referring to is this part where I show myself.
But whether it was intended or not does not negate the fact you did, in fact, manipulate things in a way that put you in a sympathetic light. The action of manipulating someone is a clever and unscrupulous way. It literally does not mention intent. Those are two definitions of manipulation, okay? And I've never tried to cleverly manipulate facts or anything, yeah, because you're not clever. And yet you did. I can't keep track of shit like you do, okay? I'm too stupid to manipulate.
Trying to explain to Fagos that it doesn't matter if she intended to manipulate my friend Clown or not, because at the end of the day, she tried to manipulate Clown surrounding a situation that...
If that's the case, then you need to be smarter about what you say, because it can be very manipulative, like it was with you. I'm not a manipulative person. Said every manipulative person ever. Maybe not intentionally, but at times you've been. Maybe with the way you see it, but intent has a large factor in actually manipulative people. I've never had mal intent with my conversations with Icy. Most manipulators don't try to be manipulative, believe it or not. What?
Had nothing to do with her. I even tried to tell her that a lot of manipulative people don't know that
manipulation and mal intent isn't at the forefront of their mind. Stop fucking with me. Bruh.
They're being manipulative and that I was just trying.
Seriously, I need to stop with this outlogging stuff. Like, I'm not trying to do anything bad to Icy. I know that, but I'm calling what you did what it is. And you always put fact in front of shit that I'm trying to do right. I'm literally giving you a chance to recognize your behavior and fix it. I've been trying to fix it for half of my goddamn life.
Trying to give her the space to recognize her behavior for what it was and change it. And that's it. That's what Heaton touts as gaslighting. I am not joking. I did not...
Totally gaslighting. Did you see the brutal gaslight attempt, guys? Absolutely. God, I hate it here.
Not do anything else that could even be perceived as that. I did not grab 3 of my friends and tell them that I sexually assaulted 2 girls and give a one-man show acting out the part of my own fucking victims, and then make those friends feel like shit for no longer being comfortable around me later down the line and accuse them of talking shit about me and hurting me when they believed that lie. That was Fagos. And I didn't jump onto Twitter and tell you, hey Heaton, you need to back the fuck off of Junkie. You're not a victim. You're an evil bitch who wants to take down Junkie, not help the people he's hurt. Your video about him sucks. You gaslit Junkie. Don't you know how emotionally fragile he is? And you're putting him on blast to thousands of people? If he kills himself, it's gonna be your fault. And then turn around years later when people call me out and say, I never defended Junkie. What are you talking about? Stop gaslighting me. No, Heaton. That's you.
The whole situation can literally be summed up as stop gaslighting me. You're all gaslighting me.
Now, for the talking shit thing that she loves to bring up, Heaton... She's talking about in 2021 when I vented to Clan about how uncomfortable I felt with Fagos, with what I knew and how they were acting. Heaton, at the time that happened, I believed Fagos had sexually assaulted 2 trans girls.
Yeah, you can be very uncomfortable with that. I would even dare say some most people would have broken up the contact at this point already.
Something that they regularly checked in on me with to make sure I wasn't saying anything. Of fucking course I was going to confide with one of the only other people that knew about that situation to express how uncomfortable I was with it and how I was being villainized for that. Why are you more focused on me talking behind a sex offender's back as though that makes me some kind of hypocrite when it doesn't? Fagos explicitly lied about me and twisted facts to pit people against me when they went to other people. I didn't do that. So again, why are you more upset about me talking behind a sex offender's back than the fact that I was...
Probably because she just didn't like you and just used it as an excuse to go after you.
Having to deal with the sex offender in my friend group. Why the fuck do you care about how a sex offender feels about what I say about their acts of sexual misconduct?
But they use bad words, you know what, Kairos? You're so right. You're so right. How dare them use bad words?
Period. Hello? Is anyone realizing how wildly inappropriate that is? You're gonna say all this horrendous shit about my abuse and then 2.5 years later when the fire is on your ass, you're gonna say, oh, well, it was all just a big misunderstanding. And then...
Was ist meiner ist evil. Julie is not a minor anymore, okay? Okay. But still, young adult, very young.
Blame it on my video for not being well done? Seriously? No, Heaton. You said those things about me and pulled that interpretation from my video because you weren't paying attention. Because you hated me and you weren't seeing the situation for what it was. So you know what? Way to go. In an attempt to use my original video as a scapegoat for why you were so misinformed on this situation, you—
Yeah, your first video was so unclear. I thought it was only one person. Like, I don't think I have seen anyone who also watched this video with me who thought this was only one person. It's just a prank, bro. No.
You outed yourself as a fucking idiot and made the truth of why your threat about me was so specific and dead set on making me look like a fucking demon that much more apparent. Congratulations. And no, there is not a new video in the works because my original video was bad. When Fagos revealed that she had lied about everything for 2 years, it changed the hue of all the abuse and manipulation that she had put us through. It is now necessary and would do us well as the victims to elaborate on just how deep the events of her abuse went.
Yeah, because in the first video, if I remember correctly, they still thought the sexual abuse was actually real. And didn't know that Fagos only made that up. So of course they needed a second video to but they wanted to clear that up and recontextualize everything.
Because it would show how she was manipulating us, draining us, and trying to pit my friends against me for her own personal gain. For you and your friends, like—
It's like 2021 me disliked Julie because of alleged grave dancing based on collective misinterpretation. What? 2024. Me dislikes Julie because they're openly hostile to anyone who slightly gets on their bad side. Even with someone trying to be civil with them. Maybe try to be civil better. And don't be a passive-aggressive bitch. Have you tried that?
Musha, to twist that into an excuse for why you were all so stupidly misinformed about my trauma is just disgusting.
So, when it was explained more clearly, I realized immediately I had done wrong and went to remedy the issue. Ponder proofread my public statement, and I took down the original thread at the request of
Ponder proofread my public statement, okay.
Her and everyone else involved.
Girl, what the hell is going on here?
I thought it was still up.
Initially said that last year you sent me that private and public apology, which are dated as November and December of last year. However, now you're saying that Ponder proofread your statement, even though you say she only came to you this year.
Oh.
Heaton, you have the screenshots with the dates listed in them. You have the DMs of when the people confronted you about the issue.
But when she shows these, we will know that she lied. Don't you understand?
What the fuck are you doing? How are you expecting anyone to believe any of what you're saying when you can't even get the timeline straight with the proof you yourself are—
That's a good message, Luna. Hey, listen, I hope anyone watching this who feels like they're not doing good with their mental health knows they are already way more self-aware and on the right track.
Using. Now listen, I know that she's wrong about the timeline because I was there for all of it. All of it had to do with me and was directed at me. But other people don't know that. Why did you release this document with such blatant flaws?
As a matter of fact, the criticized line in the public apology about my mental state was Ponder's suggestion to make my actions—
it's actually Ponder's fault.
Clear.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't believe this. This doesn't sound like something Ponder would do. If this really did happen, I would not condone that. I know that Ponder and I have different sensibilities and different boundaries, but still, I don't believe this bet. I asked her about this, and she said she doesn't remember ever saying that, and I'm gonna believe her.
Okay, why didn't she just say no? Okay, I will not question it. But again, now just Ponder said I should put it in there. So it's Ponder's fault. It's your apology.
Over the woman who's taken every opportunity she has when talking about my abuse to lie. Moving on.
I've also been told that I defended Faghost, which also never happened.
Bitch, you did! You were all like, oh, it's already mentally unstable and you're grave dancing, oh.
Even in the original thread, I said that what she had done was unhinged and terrible. I've never said otherwise, and I do not know where the claim that I said otherwise is coming from.
You never-
Your own fucking posts, psychopaths. But remember, Kumu and Shuli are bad people, dude. The ACC and SCC propaganda machine says so. Yeah, they said bad words. They said the mean things.
Ever defended Fagos? Are you fucking kidding me? Heaton, you were a full-on abuse apologist in your original thread. You denounced my video, said that I wasn't a victim of Fagos, said that I gaslit her into thinking she was a bad person, described her as mentally ill and emotionally fragile while calling me a manipulative, spiteful bitch that was playing weeping tragic victim, brought up a mistake I made as a 15-year-old to paint me.
Yeah, how dare you make a mistake as a 15-year-old? Should have been a smarter 15-year-old. Ah!
As having always been a bitch for a long time, said you felt bad for Fagos, likened me to Rachel Mills, a serial abuser and sex pest, spread their narrative uncritically, and told me that bullying them off of their platforms was just as bad as me being stalked as a minor, so that I kept silent about SA. And now you want to say that you never defended Fagos and have no idea where that claim is coming from? This is why I don't buy your apologies. You refuse to be honest about what you did.
Yeah, that just shows the apology was just so fucking fake. Because she literally doesn't understand what she did wrong there.
And it makes it seem as though every apology you give, you have no idea what the hell you're actually meant to be apologizing for. Even though I literally unblocked you when I called you out in April and put all...
It's pretty much just the, I apologized for whatever, why am I still getting hate?
Of your transgressions against me on blast, publicly. You have no excuse. And then you want to be like, oh, well, in my initial thread I said that what she had done was bad. Like, oh, what? So now you can reference specific things you said in your thread? Now when you...
Listen, it's a selective memory issue. Many such cases.
Think you can use it to defend yourself? But now when it comes to being specific about the myriad of ways in which you were disgusting and lied about me, I don't care if it would have made your apology too long. Because it just goes to show how much you treated me like shit.
Oh, we wouldn't want my apology. We wouldn't want our apology to be too long, you know, that would be just a hassle.
And guess whose fault that is? It is absolutely ridiculously revealing to me that ever since you made your thread, you have been incredibly vague about the things you said, and have only gone into specifics when you're defending personal stances or trying to pretend that you actually did see how awful Fagos was. The one time you condemned Fagos at all in that thread was at the very end for...
Oh. If what Fagos is being accused of is true, then 100% this should be known, called out, and atoned for. Yeah, it was called out. It literally was.
One sentence in an addendum
and there was even evidence shown, you know, if you would have watched the video.
That you added after the fact. You can yap all you want.
Listen, she tripped over a cat and forgot everything. It happens to everyone. At least once in their life, that's true.
Your actions still revealed your true feelings.
I also didn't speak about Chuli in 2022 because of an argument in a Discord server about a YouTuber drama from 2019. Anyone who...
I also didn't speak about Chuli because of an argument. What?
Who has been around me or my content knows that these are values I've always held regarding anyone.
Ah, my values, my holy values.
I didn't like Jar victory lapping on my behalf regarding Junkie or Spoctor. I don't like...
Jar was the one victory lapping. Oh, not me. I would never.
The comments about pushing someone unstable from Lyo. These are not things exclusive to Chuli and never have been.
Can we see how you've reacted on Twitter or in your videos to Jar and Lyo doing that? Because the only time you have ever publicly talked about either of them doing that, from what I can find, is this tweet about...
Hey, for the second fucking time, because some people didn't listen, stop coming to me about Junkie. I don't care what Jar, Spoctor, anyone says. I don't give a shit. I'm not following it. I'm trying to leave it. Unlike some people, I'm not interested in a victory lap. Stop.
About Jar. I want everyone to look...
I want to talk about this Fagos thing. Okay, already read that.
Look at these two reactions and see if they can find any differences in how she reacted to Jar versus how she reacted to me.
Oh,
you cannot talk about me how you did, make me the villain of the entire situation, deny my victimhood, and say you feel
it's just slightly longer.
Feel bad for everyone involved except me, and act like this wasn't personal. It was. You made that so fucking clear. You felt bad for the self-admitted sex offender and chronic liar, no questions, because they have mental health issues, but not me, because I guess
No, only Fagos. Fagos has the most mental health issues, don't you know? We checked the papers.
Posted too many crabs on Twitter. And I said that you made
not the post-crapping, the crab posting.
It that way because of the hatred you had for me because of that argument in 2019, because it was the first thing you immediately brought up and lied about me with in an attempt to justify why we no longer spoke to each other. So yes, maybe the actions you say you didn't like were not exclusive to me, but the way you talked about me and the morals you pushed onto me absolutely were. And I am so tired of you acting like that.
Guys, if you don't talk in the way that I like, fuck you.
Whole thread wasn't you acting out your grudge and hatred on me now that you're getting flamed.
Trotsky,
I don't know what to
Trotsky, don't you dare! You're already in the cage.
Tell you. You showed your ass in this situation, and yet you still want to act so flabbergasted on where people are getting this from.
I've said time and time and time again that I'm a flawed individual.
Oh, guys, I'm just human. I'm not perfect. Luna, not you too! I know where my makers lie. I'm only human. I can't be perfect. I'm so sorry.
And I know where my weaknesses lie. It's why I always consider myself open to criticism. One of those is an issue with impulsivity that I have been actively trying to curb, and did so by taking my time to have everything in order before I responded to everything.
Is that what?
And it was still stupid.
You call this document?
Congratulations.
This document is you having everything in order. Seriously.
That's sad. That's really sad. I gotta say, that's sad.
Hi, unfortunately, bad actors continue to try and gaslight me.
Oh god, I'm getting gaslit. Trotsky! Don't you dare raise the crab army in your little cage.
Into believing I said things I never said, or ascribe intent to me that I never had. But also, unfortunately, there's not a lot of veil when it comes to me. I'm a direct and honest person, so you can usually assume what
I'm a direct and honest person. Ha ha. That's what you get, Emre.
Said is what I meant, good or bad.
No, you aren't, Heaton. No, you are not. You have lied so much about me in just this document alone. Never mind the multitude of times you have since the beginning.
Of course, Donna comes in with the most crabs.
You have been proven.
Unicorn, not you too! Crab privileges revoked. I will make the crab a banned word.
To not be truthful with how you talk about me and your involvement.
I've just got done adding coconut oil stuff to my hair while listening to this. Hell yeah. Le gasp le crab. God damn it. Y'all are impossible, I swear to God.
And what I've been through. I don't care if it's malintent or reckless disregard. It's fucked up, and I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of you. You want to end off this shitfest of a document by being like, you can really just assume what I mean most of the time because I'm just so honest.
I'm just so honest. Just take my word, guys. I would never lie.
Thing I've said about your intent and actions is based on words that you've said. But instead of just apologizing for those things, you're lying about the timeline of events and how you acted in them, telling people that I'm a bad actor, that I'm lying about your intent and painting you as a monster. I have not lied about your intent and painted you as a monster like you have done so.
Oh no, not the jokes. Come on, you, that's a load of crap and you know it. We love you too. I love you all too, and Quantum especially.
To me, the only person that has lied about me and painted me as a monster and tried to pit my friends against me like you is Fagos, okay? So how dare you be like, oh, I'm just too honest, it's a fault. Fucking act like it.
What is your biggest weakness? I'm just too honest. And I work too much. Chris coming in with a singular crap.
I absolutely refuse to have people tell me that I am something I am not ever again, but I am also willing to admit that I haven't been an angel. I never pretended I was.
I never pretended to be an angel. I'm not just an innocent little bean. Sometimes I'm wrong.
That's that on that, I guess. Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Heaton, you need to never do this again. I legitimately don't understand how someone can act like you. You see, despite the fun I had on Twitter finally getting to put Heaton on blast for all of her bullshit, Fagos' abuse of me and my friends and the shit that you did to me is pretty painful to talk about. And it's certainly not fair for me to have to come on here and talk about it because you refuse to tell the truth. Yes, you're allowed to respond to the allegations I put forth against you, but when you do nothing...
But you shouldn't lie, and especially not put a whole document out that has a very interesting timeline that doesn't seem to quite fit the reality.
But lie about my abuse in that response and deflect and put blame onto me, it's totally reasonable for me to say that's enough. Because you refuse to come out here and just admit to and own up to not only your role in doing the things that you've done, but lying about your involvement in them and causing people to say disgusting things about me over your lies, then yeah, I have the full right to say that I don't want you talking about this anymore. And I'm...
Yep. Very good, very good. Still too nice, but you know, I take it.
Glad that you've been sticking to that, and I hope it stays that way after this video comes out, because Lord knows I'm tired of you and I'm tired of your friends. That's why I don't want an apology. But God save your soul, you better fucking remember how to give one if you ever think about crossing a bitch
God, I love it.
Like me again. I do not want to hear a single peep out of you, especially because your document had the same effect that your original thread did in 2021.
People will be like, I haven't always been an angel, and then act like they just crawled off Satan's asshole. Luna. I will remember that one. I will steal that line.
Right now people are acting like I'm just a crazy...
Hiten made this. I'm just gonna post it here. Damn, I feel bad for Hiten. Fucking same, to be honest. I've come across Julie's tweet about Hiten, and holy fuck, I do not like Julie. They come across as vindictive to me, not gonna lie. Oh, the tone policing is real here. Both Clown and Julie have been acting a bit scummy for a bit, and I was not having it. Oh god, cry me a river. Yep, agreed.
Bitch for still being mad at you and calling you
Oh my god, of course they are the hell of a boss.
Going as far as to speculate that I must...
Again, I have to ask, where the fuck did this come from? Like before last month, Hiten was respecting Julie's wish to be left alone, and Julie was just tweeting about Doja Cat. I'm not a psychologist, so take it what I say with a giant grain of salt. This could be a byproduct of Fagos' abuse towards Julie and Clown. Julie could be letting paranoia take control. Bruh. Notes on screenshots make me laugh. Yes, I absolutely love it. And we know how bad it is when paranoia takes the wheel. Ween. But for real, this shit is only going to make people hate Julie. Julie don't need you soy-ass people if you act like that, I be real.
Be letting paranoia from Fagos' abuse take control of me, and that's why I'm acting up. Some people from the Cat Slayer, and back when it was the Senate, and another server known as the Supreme Court, in particular, have said things that are remarkably similar to things you said about me and caused others to say about me in 2021. Like the idea that I'm just obsessed with being right.
Everybody hated that. On a more serious note, Julie's behavior generally concerns me. There's no way being this obsessed with getting a one-up on Hiten. Oh my god, now Julie's obsessed with getting a one-up on Hiten, of course. And having the last word isn't having some kind of impact on them. Hiten has already said her piece and clearly wants to move on, but Julie keeps going. I don't like Julie, but also don't like seeing someone essentially self-destructing like this. Oh, you all... These people, they have cotton in their brain.
Right, obsessed with Heaton.
Genuinely do not have the spoons for Julie's nonsense or Clown following right behind her. But holy fucking shit, there's a difference between not caring what others think and caring so much you have to force your point every 2 seconds. Julie wakes up thinking about Hiten. At this point, I refuse to think they don't have an unrequired, hateful crush on Hiten. Cause goddamn, they're obsessed. Bruh. What the fuck is wrong with you all? Literally writing fan fiction over here. Bruh. This is literally just Hiten pissed their pants. Truly laughed at it, and now everyone is like, heh, rent free.
Wondering and puzzling why I'm so concerned about this situation and arguing what Heaton says about it. Gee, I don't fucking know, guys. Maybe because Heaton has used every time she's talked about my abuse to lie. Maybe if you guys would empathize with me for half a second, you might understand that I would want to fight back against that.
Gee, why would you be so obsessed just because she lied about you? Just ignore it. Come on. I'm off to watch some Always Sunny. Keep working on yourselves and staying beautiful, lovely. Thanks, you Luna. Thanks for stopping by.
And as for the complaint that I'm being too mean and spiteful towards Heaton,
you should be meaner.
I'm sorry. Did we all forget who we're talking about?
You are going to die! I am going to kill you! I will spend the rest of my life trying to... You will never see again. I will not see...
We are dealing with the Überclown.
I am coming for you!
Unlike you swooning prima donna wannabes, you can shove it up your fat ass for all I care.
Excuse me? What is this language?
You are low-life, backstabbing scum at best, and duplicitous, manipulative,
duplicitous?
Dangers at your worst. The only thing I didn't do was reopen my DMs with the scaly lizard fucker who hurt me. You are bumbling, simpering weaklings. Shut the fuck up. Good God.
Imagine taking this voice serious.
Spoilers, if you weren't a fucking scumbag in private, we wouldn't make these things community issues. I don't want...
Do you hear the struggle to say long words too? Yes, but I also struggle so. Glass house. Glass house.
Your disingenuous, half-hearted, slimy, bitch boy apology. I don't want your disingenuous, slimy, bitch boy apology either.
What? What? I don't want your slimy bitch boy apology, gee.
There, Spock. My Legionnaires have said multiple times they like my more harsh, aggressive tone. Fuck off, junkie. Go fuck.
My people have told me they like my more harsh, aggressive tone. Yeah, because it sounds like you're spurging out.
Yourself, goodbye. God forbid I say me.
But are you struggling when trying to come off as tough, though? Yeah, when I tried to come off as tough, I wouldn't choose words I can't barely say. I'm back with dinner, hell yeah, welcome back, Raider Fox.
Words about someone who tried to ruin my
Yes, she calls their followers Legionnaires.
Life. Get the fuck out of here. I will make you be an adult, and you
will make you be an adult.
will take the accountability in the way that you should be taking it, not the way you want to take it. No hiding, no running.
You will take it if you want to or not.
You are...
That's just how I talk to my boyfriend in bed.
Done. Good riddance.
Literally the whole fucking circus.
I point this out, and Tippy tries to shout me down, which is a losing battle 100 times out of 100.
Oh my god, literally the jar argument.
I am always going to be louder than you.
I think that most, if not all...
But I don't want to be an adult, it's boring. Quantum, no. Well, what the fuck did I just come back? The circus.
All of the people complaining about my attitude in this mess are just mad that I knocked Heaton down with the energy she carries for everyone she goes after. Honest to God, all I can say is sucks to suck. Sorry I outscreamed your scream queen. You know, I could have gone harder.
You didn't even need to stream.
In this video. I really feel like if I talked about Heaton in this video the way she talked about everyone else, there probably would have been riots in the SCC streets. I've already gotten on the bad side of these Discord servers as showcased, and pretty much...
You would have had blood on your hands, truly, if you were rougher with them.
All of Heaton's friends blocked me. Fuck, half the SCC blocked me. Which is wild considering none of them did that shit when she acted how she did towards me. Probably because a lot of them agreed with her. Why? No idea. Maybe
can't be here if you're not an adult. Quantum.
I should try being a fucking white girl instead. Maybe that would help. Because I've been meaning to point out for a while that I find it really funny that my melanated ass is one of the only people in this pasty corner of the internet that ever has to deal with civility politics. I've known for a while that these communities have had some weird race issues, but after I called out a white creator right before Heaton for banning even the mildest of pro-Palestine activism from his stream and complaining about it, I got jumped by several white creators in both public and private and was politely explained to that these creators had the right to ban anti-genocide statements from their platforms because they...
What? How did they go to Palestine?
I'd rather not think about it. Yeah, I wonder if those same people have any kind of problem with someone who looks like me being abrasive and not catering to all of this nonsense. I don't even have to wonder that much because people in the Cat Slayer have already stated that me...
Okay, sorry, but I'm going to need to people, especially Omnia, Julie, and say to literally group with a domestic abuser because of my skin color. Oh my fucking god. Stop acting like they're the only ones who had traumatic experience, especially in the POC community. So old time saying, think before you speak. Or in this case, type, post video, tweet, etc. Show some fucking empathy, for God's sake.
Bringing up my traumatic past is me pretending that I'm the only one with trauma, especially in the POC community, whatever the fuck that is. Everything over these past few years has just proven to me that I should have never gotten involved with this corner of the internet. And I honestly just feel sorry for my younger self that I ever had the misfortune of getting tangled up with a group of people so callous and unempathetic towards me that they...
I always find it crazy how long these dramas go on. Like this one also went on over years, from when they were a minor to when they were an adult. And the same for Akumu, when it went on for like over 5 years.
Treated me like absolute shit during my most vulnerable time and continue to try and gaslight me for being hurt like I have. I also need to reiterate strongly here that while I am the youngest victim of Fagos, as far as we know, I am not the only victim, and I'm offering Clown Teeth a spot to speak their truth on this situation and how the community, how Heaton, ruined so much for us with how horrible they were. I also offered a feature to Pondersprocket, one of the only other
Don't you know every race has its own community? If you're not in it, you're not valid. Oh no.
victims that we know of, for her to do the same, but she refused at this time.
Yeah, everyone is welcome. POC community, that's some white person BS.
Deciding that she is afraid of her upset and feelings being flipped to use against her in the future. And given how I've seen that very thing happen, I don't hold it against her. This entire mess has left Ponder with a ton of trust issues that simultaneously leave her not wanting to believe people, but also trying not to assume the worst. She's working past it at her own pace, but given the magnitude of everything, it's a little bit more difficult than one might imagine. With that out of the way, here is Clown Teeth.
Hey.
Hello. So I'm just going to keep things brief in my statement and go over the things that are relevant to me.
It's especially funny because, Hiten was like, yeah, Clown was one of the real victims, not like you. You were just supporting her.
Only. My opinion on Heaton is very similar to Chuli's, for obvious reasons. Frankly, I have been very angry and upset with her since her initial thread. I am going to try to keep myself calm as I explain my viewpoints on this woman's deplorable actions. Starting off with the initial parts of the thread where I am mentioned. She says, verbatim, that this was my story to tell.
Yeah, this was Clown's story to tell, not yours. You don't get to play the weeping tragic victim. So let's see what the, according to Hiten, actual victim has to say about that.
Chuli doesn't get to play the tragic weeping victim for supporting me going through a hard time, then says she feels bad for me and Fagos. First of all,
I want to feel bad for Fagos in this situation.
While it is true I faced the brunt of Fagos' manipulation and wrath, you want to guess what most of those conversations were usually about? When Chuli set a boundary Fagos couldn't violate.
Boy, things went down shit real quick. Question mark, question mark. Fagos was arguing with me last night while I was in stream with you about you ghosting him again. Bruh, hello? Also, sorry, Discord mobile can eat ass for no notice. It's fine, I'm calling her now, kill me. Why is he arguing with you?
She ran to me to make my life hell because she couldn't get the closure she demanded. She would go off about how
I was venting and we were pissed, and like he said, he knew you were sus of him. So why is he so astonished by this? Like, bruh, I literally said I'm sus of this, and he expected me to apologize for talking shit and making assumptions. Shut the fuck up, cunt. That, and just to talk to him so he can get why you brought it up at all. 'Cause he just thinks you brought it up, like as some tactic or something? Oh my fucking god, he keeps insisting it's not normal that you brought it up.
Julie was shit-talking when she wasn't, and how her actions of confiding in me about her being a possible sex offender was
I want to fucking die, we've been talking in circles for 20 minutes.
Going too far. Hell, I even remember
Did he finally leave you alone? No, it's still going. Jesus fucking Christ, what's he saying now? Things I'm getting, he still thinks it was too personal to bring up and doesn't understand why that of all things was brought up when I was venting. He wanted a straight yes or no if I thought what you said was too far.
Call I had with her where she demanded I say either yes or no when asking if Chuli's actions were out of pocket. So no, Heaton, it wasn't just my story. So how dare you say that Chuli isn't a victim and put me on top of the mountain of shit you threw at her?
Yeah, it's really funny to mention someone to be like, yeah, it's actually her story to tell, when you apparently haven't even talked to that person. No, just so they can their little victory lap, will I say it like that? You know, their little point in. It's starting to become like a snake eating its own tail, yes.
I don't know if it was because I had no qualms with her or anyone else who was spewing such disgusting shit, but it shouldn't fucking matter, and I cannot believe this has to be said. Why were you so determined to protect a chronic liar's mental health? Which, speaking of that, please, for the love of God, stop insinuating I need to cater to Fagos' mental health. I do not care.
Yeah, that's true. Like, imagine telling the victims of someone who pulled a stunt like that. But have you thought of their mental health? They were in a dark place, don't you know? You should really think more about what they're feeling. Nah, fuck their feelings. They can go fuck themselves.
What she does, I do not care about anything she wants. Look what happened when I did care for her. I was strung along like a puppet and was manipulated when she wasn't getting what she wanted, all the while lying about everything just to fuck with my emotions for her own sick reasons. She never cared for me. Not a single moment do I believe she saw me as a friend, just someone she could mess with. I don't need your moral grandstanding on what you think is right or wrong and calling out abusive people. Please shut up. What made this even more frustrating is I had people who were so supportive of my art and praised me after this whole shit show went down, only to find out they liked and supported Heaton's thread. This is just to set the record straight, but do you all think I wouldn't know? That I wouldn't be uncomfortable with being praised while my best friend was completely shut down and shamed?
Yeah, that's also crazy logic some people have. Yeah, you know, fuck your friend, but you're so amazing, you're so brave.
Am I living in the Twilight Zone? Because that's what it felt like. To express the emotions I was going through, I was constantly questioning my own victimhood. It felt like I was getting put on a pedestal that I didn't want, and the severity of what Fagos did to us was not being taken seriously. I was in a state of disbelief that only grew after she posted her Spocter video. I was anxious all the time. I had constant headaches.
They can walk on broken glass and get splinters while using wooden items. Yes.
Just in a state of doubting myself and just shitting on myself for not doing enough. All the while I had to sit in silence while Heaton was praised, protected, and had her voice elevated. I didn't feel like I could call Fagos my abuser, that I didn't have the right to even use a term that heavy. And I felt guilty. I just felt guilty that my friend was being painted as this horrible person while I just got the opposite reaction. I was angry. And I'm still angry.
Like, I'm still wondering why Hiten put Clown on a pedestal while shitting on Julie. Was it because Julie was the louder one? Because they had to know that they were friends. Because even though the friends were like, yeah, and Clown is just walking alone with Julie. I can't even get into that mindset, bro. It just makes my brain hurt to think, what could be the logic behind this?
If I had trust issues then, they would have skyrocketed even more after all these horrible years. What's even crazier is that this isn't the only time Heaton has mentioned me or said things to me. On April 7th, 2023, I posted a video called My 2017 Trauma, which was...
Didn't Hiten have some disagreement with Julie? Yeah, I got that, but again, why would they put their friend on a pedestal then? Wouldn't you, like, I don't know, just keep your mouth shut? Especially if you know that they are friends. Or was it like to try to play them up against each other?
Basically me coming out about what had happened behind the scenes during my drama after Lyle Convoy posted a video regarding people from my past. In that video, I shared a lot of the dark and traumatic things that a lot of people didn't know about since it was mostly offline. It was very hard for me to come out about, but I knew I had to because it was the first time in years where I felt I wasn't crazy. Heaton, I guess, because she played an integral part in my drama, commented on my video saying the following: I'm glad you're out of
okay, there we did.
That situation. You have become a better and stronger person. Where your pain manifested doesn't matter. It's still valid. I'm glad you're free and safe. Wish you nothing but healing and happiness. I have never...
Wow. This sounds so uncomfortable.
Deleted a comment so fast. Her thread was up for 2 years at this point. She still stood by it. She just sent this with such compassion that I was just horrified. It's terrifying how impulsive she is with her anger. How she could go off about Julie, and she wasn't just being harsh, she was being genuinely disgusting. Then comes to me all super kind.
Just like, yeah, fuck Julie, you know, crying victim here. But you're an angel. Live, love, love.
How can you be so kind to me when you knew damn well you shamed my friend and stood up for my abuser? This was proof to me that she was just completely dishonest. It felt like a slap in the face. Oh, this trauma you went through? Oh, I'm so sorry. I wish you nothing but happiness. But this other one? Nah, your friend was actually the manipulative one.
Exactly what you said. Yeah, your friend was the fucker.
I feel bad for you and your abuser. Like, what on earth? If I had to be honest, and this is just my opinion, so take this with a massive grain of salt, Heaton's whole I'll scream louder persona is a red flag to me. Especially since this isn't who she actually is.
Yeah, if it's just I scream louder, then it's just like, yeah, because I can't win in any other aspect.
When that same energy was brought onto her with hard truths and evidence, she crumbled, saying, I'll be lucky if I don't end up in the hospital, take your W, I guess, which was just so passive-aggressive. I think the reason
It wasn't even passive-aggressive, I'll be real here. That was full-on aggression. Like, come on, it wasn't even slick. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. God damn it, Webuser.
So put off by this persona she has is that I grew up in an environment with a parental figure who would scream over me if I dare try to call out the negative things they did to me. I was screamed at, talked over, shut down. It made to feel like I was the one at fault for being upset. So when I see a person like her with an audience that gets hyped for her to yell at people, it's just gross to me. This is not something to be proud of. In my opinion, I'll
be honest, I enjoy some blood sports, you know. But if it's only just screaming at each other, not really fun, you know? This is not really a W if you just scream like a fucking spurk.
I think she either needs to realize this angry energy isn't healthy or just stop. entirely. She pointed it at the wrong person and made a complete ass out of herself as a result. Heaton was totally fine with defending insults against a neurodivergent woman during the Rosa call. She was okay with bullying someone because she didn't like them and it was under the notion that they did something terrible. Rosa is no saint, mind you, but no one deserves to go through that. Compare that to this situation where she held onto a grudge with a then 16-year-old Chuli over a situation she escalated, but regardless, she thought Chuli did something awful. She held on to that for years, to the point she was willing to defend their abuser over them. Her bias harms people she needs to stop. And finally, just to get this out of the way, Artemi Musha is a cowardly...
Ha! Oh, that was the dude that was so cringe, who was like, I didn't even watch the video, but you know.
Loser. I responded to his recent thread where he was calling Chuli's tweets showing Heaton's disgusting actions with evidence as a social media meltdown, while also...
I like watching smart insulting, just screaming does nothing for me. Smart insulting is also good, but I don't like when it gets too, too educated. I left for half an hour, and what did I miss? More stupidness. Clown is now saying her part, but it's all because Hiten put her on a pedestal and was like, Clown is the actual victim. You are just a friend who support them and you don't get to play the victim. Clown said that one straight, and now now talks about the Musha dude who also fucked up. Who was like, I didn't even watch the video, but I got blocked. I don't...
vaguely wishing bad things to happen to them. You know, the most totally normal thing to say.
Yes.
I was very not happy, so I quoted him, calling him...
Hey, aren't you the asshole that said you'd be a better victim than Chuli in your Way video because you didn't make 2 stupid tweets? Shut your victim-aiming shame mouth.
Out on the shit he did, and he responded to me. Won't lie, there were parts that messed with my head. Anxiety sucks. I wasn't able to save the response because he locked his account because...
Oh, he actually came back with the thread still up, and I was able to grab it, Lamau.
People chewed him out for how fucking insane he was being. The main parts that are important are claiming he removed...
Quantum, I saying something really bad. I'm sending it to you too. Oh no. I'm scared.
The segment in the video I brought attention to due to wanting to stand by his morals. He thinks I would know
Quantum, no! No!
This, and even if it was removed, you never apologize and you're still vilifying Chuli, so what the fuck? Your morals are just non-existent, so stop clenching for them. He talked like he was playing 4D chess by not bringing up key...
Yeah, and in reality, he just ate the checkerboard.
Details, then proceeded to say, Clown, you're smarter than this, before giving me grief about showing the same aggression he had issues with, ending it with him saying that he and the other victims of Rei Kohai didn't appreciate me dragging her name into this. Yep. My brother in Christ, you started this shit. You mentioned Chuli in your Rei video. You compared Chuli...
I don't know, serial abuser, SA committer, groomer, rapist. Yeah, and comparing Chuli to all these people. I think I lost my brain cells. Then my job here is done. I can end the stream. Share with the class. No, I cannot share this with the class. But Quantum can do no wrong.
To Rei in your thread. How the hell is that my fault? You want to paint me as some stupid idiot
it
for
would be very insensitive to share this right now that say it like that.
Being angry, but at least I'm not the degenerate who compared a victim to not 1, but 3 serial abusers, which included V Omega. Even when people called you out, you tried to say, well, I compared them because they were all letdowns. Yeah, letdowns because they ended up being sex pest abusers, my dude. Just stay gone. You are just... a vile human being.
Implode.
I fully respect that Heaton is not going to watch this video. I was in her position many years ago. Even though I made the choice to watch the videos made on me, it left me even more traumatized, so I understand her stance completely. All I want is that she never talks about the Fagos stuff ever again. Not even retweets.
One can only hope.
Or shoutouts. Just silence. I don't want her talking about Chuli ever again as well. I just want her, as Chuli said years ago, to stay in her lane. I don't want...
Somehow people have a very hard time with staying in their lane, to be fair.
Her support. I don't even feel comfortable being in any space with her present, period now. Even members of the Senate...
Seriously? I hardly use my Twitter, so what did Hiten lock their account for? Getting dogged on the Senate call and shit, and for a grudge over something Hiten already apologized for. And to make it clear, Chuli has a right to know, accept it, but to drag the shit that is the source of your grudge when they long apologized and use a 2-year-old call to further dogpile them is pretty dang bad. It is.
Victim shamed Chuli once her tweets got traction, because Heaton is oh so loved. Before anyone says anything, no, I'm not blaming Lyle for this at
There's no way this idiot is trying to downplay or misprove that she was hurt by the lizard. People are more than likely to defend Spectre. Just give the finger to Peaches again. At this point, I'm not even surprised. What?
At all. He's not responsible for watching
illiterate ass bitches.
every Discord user in his server like a hawk. That would be insanely unreasonable. For the sake of my own mental health, I just need to be away from these spaces and just the community at large. Especially since people in the Supreme Court, God, these fucking names, were trying to paint Chuli and me as
oh yeah, they were like, oh, this was just because of clown.
Mentally unwell for calling this out. It hit me a bit harder personally. Like, I can laugh off the pain, but there's just a part of me who felt genuinely hurt by the fact people think me standing alongside my best friend is me going through paranoia as
yeah, it's just because of the paranoia. It's not because you're really friends. Come on now. I can't even imagine like how fucked up that is.
Result of Fagos abuse? Jesus Christ. I stated in the past I didn't want anything to do with this community anymore, and the main reason I orbited was because of fucking Fagos, cause she can never leave us the fuck alone. I stand by Chuli and will continue to. Not just because I am also a victim of Fagos, but this whole thing was a complete injustice and deserves to be publicly known. This isn't just some petty squabble that can be resolved in a private call. This is a person who is a walking hypocrite and vile enough to victim shame a person over petty reasons.
I don't like you because we had dress, so fuck your abuse. I think of your mental state of your abuser. Come on now. God, I hate it here.
I hope to God that people understand us and that the truth is out there, because I would very much like to feel some sort of normalcy in my life again. I will talk about Fagos again in greater detail in the future, but for now, all I can say is this. Chuli has been there for me since 2017. She has helped me during my darkest times and helped me gain the confidence to stand up for myself after dealing with so many awful people in my life.
Yeah, what I'm really glad to see is that Chuli and Clown stand their ground and don't let the brainlets get to them anymore. That they finally have found their voice to say, to be like, nah, fuck y'all.
I think the least I can do is return the favor and support her through this. Please support Chuli. She has faced so many horrible things being said towards her and that she did not deserve. She faced so many terrible people trying to strip away her victimhood. I'm frankly sickened by it. All of this disgusting shit over 2 tweets telling her abuser
but they said mean things in these tweets and there was a crap in it.
Her to fuck off. Heaton and everyone else should feel genuinely ashamed of themselves. Heaton, I hope to God you learned a hard lesson after this. I never want to see you ever again. I don't want any support from you Nothing. Please gain some self-awareness and focus on more positive things. Learn to keep your thoughts to yourself. You crossed so many lines and continue to lie about them because you know deep down you fucked up. I trust even if you aren't watching this, it is clear that your opinion isn't wanted in this situation. So let's hope it stays that way. Thank you all for listening. I'm out.
Beep. So there's still a bit left, but this is mostly some background about Julie. Some horrifying stuff that also explains why she was quite sensitive to this situation or quite receptive to Fagos. I will leave this out of here because this is also the topic about Heaton. Make sure to check out Julie. I really like her content. She made a jar video, which is also great. The most based jar video I've seen on him. Yeah, that's Heaton. Or as I like to say, American Peaches. Because to me, again, the voice just... I can't get it out of my head that these two sound so familiar. I can't stand to hear Fagos anymore, and I am used to being called something similar my whole life. No, Pimenta, no! So I definitely want to check out a bit more about Heaton, but it's already 1 AM again. Gonna go to work tomorrow, so there will probably be another Heaton stream in the future. My soul has left the chat. You will get a break. You will get a break now. We will come back to it at a later point, though. Not a ducky. No, not the duckies. So, because we still have their Blue Sky and some of their own videos we can check out. So there will always be enough for one more. Only one more. One more. And with that, thank you all so much for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe to all the YouTube stuff. And have a beautiful night, evening, day, whatever time it is for you. Bye-bye.